Yo, 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 yo. Mic check. Seems like it's fine. Let me see. Pull it up on my phone. See what it sounds like. What's up, Valero? Valero, let me know if I sound all right. If you don't mind there. One thing I definitely got to change is the hashtags. See hashtag Broly from our last debacle. We'll do that instead. Let's do Gohan. Okay, got that. I'm good. It's good, it's good. Okay. What's up, Michelle? What's up, Dave? All right, then I'll go back to the chat here then.
Agree.
Okay, I'm at.
Even be close.
Yo, what up?
You here, Karma?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Alright. You finished
All
saving
right,
this clip.
so
It's time to finish.
Hercule versus Drum.
I'd like to hop into this too, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll just do that. Figured that was gonna happen. It's all good though.
Yeah.
You cool with this, right?
Yeah, I'm alright with that.
Bro, Mason, hey, you're so spoiled. He just uses his mind power.
No, I'm not gonna make any noise.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. Anyways, okay. All right, Karinma. Why was Gohan a Super Saiyan against Dabura in the manga? Let's hear it.
In the manga?
Yeah.
Alright, so let me pull up my scans real quick. Because I kind of want to go over the whole thing. Alright, so we're gonna put it in this chat or the main stage chat still? Like the scans.
Main stage if possible.
Alright. No, I have it pulled up, that's what I was asking. Alright. Let me share my screen so that you can see. Post, like,
so the way I have it streamed is my screen is like focused on Discord, which is why I'd prefer to put the scans in the main stage if you could, so that way I could show yeah.
Okay. All right. So, first I should probably get a picture of like regular Super Saiyan Gohan from before the tournament, so I can explain like the visual difference as to like why I think his hair changes. So this is like regular Super Saiyan Gohan, obviously. Right here. Right, you can see that.
Yeah.
Alright, and then I'm gonna show these so that you can see. When he's drawing his hair like more simplified, you can see that it looks like his Super Saiyan 2 here. Like here, these like lower detail shots, or like here. Like obviously, you can still tell that he's Super Saiyan. Like if I go to this one, but you can tell that like when he draws the hair lower detail, it's easily mistakable for Super Saiyan 2 hair. Like when he's punching the guys there in that second image, or that second image that I posted.
Well, if you're asking my opinion, I think it still kind of looks like Super Saiyan because of the lack of defining detail, personally. But I guess some people may see it like that.
Well, that's because, like, Super Saiyan 2, when he draws Super Saiyan 2, he always draws it, like, even if you go back to, like, the Cell Saga when he was first drawing it, he draws it, like, more aggressively than, like, Super Saiyan. Like, it has more of, like, it's more angular, if that makes sense, like, more pointy, like, it's sharper. He draws the lines, like, thicker sometimes, like, the aura will be thicker. Like, he'll give lightning to the aura, obviously. Alright, so let me go to the tournament real quick. I'm pulling this shit up. So, in the tournament, when Vidal's getting beat up, he goes Super Saiyan because, you know, he gets mad. And when he goes Super Saiyan here, his hair is drawn differently than how it's drawn earlier in the saga. It's drawn more like his Super Saiyan 2 hair, almost identically to his Super Saiyan 2 hair. Especially in this panel right here.
It's drawn similar to his Super Saiyan 2 hair in comparison to when?
Like his Super Saiyan hair, like prior to the tournament, like how he was drawn, like when he was sparring with Goten, for instance. Like his hair is way more angular. It's missing like the extra little bang that he has. And like the spikes of his hair are different. Like his Super Saiyan hair prior to the tournament is more like, I guess you could say fluffy, like it resembles his base hair more. Whereas the Super Saiyan 2 hair is more resemblant of his Cell Saga appearance, but it's like, what do you call it? He has, like, his hair shorter than he was when he was a kid, obviously. So, like, it resembles the shape of his Super Saiyan 2 hair when he was a kid, but it's shorter because, you know, his hair isn't as long. But yeah, he goes Super Saiyan 2 here, and I want to show, like, the whole panel, like, before he powers up.
He goes Super Saiyan 2 and what you've sent already, or what you're about to send me?
No, what I'm about to send. So, like, when he's transforming versus Kibito, he's about to go Super Saiyan 2. And he's drawn with, like, the same angry expression that he would get as, like, a kid. Where it's, like, his eyes would get, like, whited out. And, like, in the anime, I think they interpret this as, like, his eyes start to glow, like, green before he transforms. But in the manga, when Gohan's eyes are whited out, it's usually, like, a significant, like, sign of, like, his anger. Like, for instance, when he's, angry versus, like, Dodoria or second form Frieza, I'm pretty sure he's also drawn with the same, like, whited out eyes to signify, like, oh, he's really angry, or, like, he's showing, like, a lot of intense emotion. Then he powers up in a Super Saiyan 2 here, and you can see he's drawn with, like, the lightning and aura and such that, like, Super Saiyan 2s are usually drawn with, and it stays in, like, every panel that he's drawn in Super Saiyan 2. Like, you can see here, even in the far away shot right here, yeah, Super Saiyan 2 is, like, lightning and aura shit right here. Then these panels, and then let me wait for this to load. Then also here, and the effects on his aura only go away when his energy is getting drained, which you can obviously interpret as, like, you know, his energy is getting sucked away, so he can't produce the lightning and stuff that's, like, significant of Super Saiyan 2 because his energy is obviously being sapped out of him. Then he reverts to base form. And now I'm going to go to when he turns Super Saiyan versus Deborah, because I want to show the differences in how it's drawn, like how his Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan is drawn, like aura-wise. And I'm also going to compare it to Goku Super Saiyan here versus Yakon. So it's kind of like two birds with one stone. So Goku goes Super Saiyan here. You can see, like, he has the regular Super Saiyan aura. He doesn't have any lightning. It's consistent in, like, every panel. This one. And then also this panel. It's just, like, a consistent, like, artistic factor of the form. Even when his energy is getting drained here, you can see that, like, he still kind of, like, to a degree maintains, like, the Super Saiyan design, you know, and then he powers up back into Super Saiyan, And, you know, same design, of course. And then for a brief instant, he turned Super Saiyan 2. But I believe the reason why he's not drawn with the aura and lightning in this instant is because he did it for a split second. So the audience isn't able to, like, visually see the fact that he went Super Saiyan 2, right? Until he transforms into Super Saiyan 2 later when he's fighting Maj and Vegeta, because then you can actually see he's drawn with the aura and lightning and stuff. It's meant to be kind of, like, concealed, you know? Like, Vegeta reveals the fact he's like, I see, it looks like Kakarot can exceed the level of a Super Saiyan. I'm gonna crop that right here. Like, he states that after Goku does it. But, like, Goku only does it for, like, a split second. So, like, you can't see it. Like, even after he does it, you can see that he's drawn as a regular Super Saiyan. Like, once he defeats Yakon, because he only did it for a split second. Like, he didn't stay in Super Saiyan 2. So, like, the effects are, like, gone, basically. Alright. I have to go to the next volume.
By the way, do you have any of this in color? Just asking.
Do I have any of this in color? No.
Okay.
I do not. I could find some of them in color, but I don't, like, the scans that I use are in black and white.
Gotcha.
Real quick before I show Gohan here, because he's literally on, like, the next page, I'm going to show Goten and Trunks turning Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're drawn in, like, the exact same way here. And obviously they're not Super Saiyan 2, because they don't have Super Saiyan 2. Okay, so then here's Gohan fighting Deborah. You can see that, like, his aura and lightning are not present in any of these panels that I'm going to show. Like, he's not drawn with it a single time. Here you go. You can even see, like, Deborah's attack has, like, a little bit of, like, almost like lightning on it, but, like, Gohan has none on his aura whatsoever. Even when he gets damaged and he, like, rips his shirt off, nothing. And then you can see, like, Goku and Vegeta commenting on, like, how strong, what is it called, Deborah is. And Gohan's, you know, he still lacks the details of what Super Saiyan 2, like, is presented as in the manga. And I'll show this later when Goku and Vegeta go Super Saiyan 2. Just to, like, be even more clear. But, like, you can even see here, like, he's drawn with no lightning, no, like, I guess you could say, like, intense aura, right? I guess that's, like, how I would describe it. And then Vegeta starts getting taken over by the Majin power, and obviously at this point he's not Super Saiyan 2 yet, so you can see that, like, he doesn't have the aura or lightning either, because he's still technically a Super Saiyan 1 at this point. You know, like, even though he got possessed by Babidi, like, he still lacks the Super Saiyan 2 details, because he hasn't transformed yet. Even here. And here, when he shoots the Ki Blast at Goku. I'm not going to show every panel, because it's pretty consistent throughout. But then Goku turns Super Saiyan. Here again, he's drawn, you know, obviously with the Super Saiyan details, not with, you know, the lightning and the aura and such. And then, let me see, because there's a specific panel I'm looking for. Yeah, he tells them to move them to a different place. Here, he's, like, yelling and such, but you can still see that, like, his aura is the same. He doesn't have the Super Saiyan 2 aura. Where is it at? Yeah, so Vegeta turned Super Saiyan 2 here in the manga briefly. Which I like. I think they kept this in the anime, but I'm not sure. But in the manga here, he turns Super Saiyan 2 for a brief moment. You can see the aura and the lightning and such, and that's how he breaks out of Babidi's control, basically. Which I think is a really cool detail. But then he reverts back to Super Saiyan. After that, he only turns Super Saiyan 2 briefly to, like, break out of Babidi's control. And you can tell because right before Goku turns Super Saiyan 2, they both have, like, this standoff panel, right? And they're both drawn as Super Saiyan here. And then Goku's like, I don't want my energy to be taken, so I'm gonna end this as soon as possible. And then he turns Super Saiyan 2. And this is an important panel for me because you can see the distinct differences between Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 in this panel right here, because Goku's aura and lightning is obviously different from Vegeta's, right? And then Vegeta turns Super Saiyan 2, and then he also gains the signifiers of what Super Saiyan 2 looks like in the manga, and then they start scrapping with each other, obviously. And the lightning and aura and everything is kept in like every single panel. The only examples of like when it's not kept is when it like actively gets in the way of the flow of action, like you can see in the screenshot I just posted in the bottom right, when Goku's like throwing that kick to Vegeta. There's no lightning in that panel specifically, only because it would like actively block the paneling that like Toriyama was trying to like convey, like the action. So he just didn't draw the lightning in that panel specifically, but you can see in like all the other panels they still have the lightning and such. Like it was just to clear up the action, I guess you could say. Like here.
Okay.
And then Gohan right here is about to turn Super Saiyan. And then he's like, "Get angry, Gohan. Remember when you got angry against Cell and tapped into all your strength?" This is right before he transforms. And then you can see he transforms. Doesn't have the aura or lightning. That's like a signifier of Super Saiyan 2. Even when he powers up, or actually, hold on, wait, let me post this first. This is when they're feeling Fat Boo's energy here. Like they're saying that he's reached full power basically. We get a cut back to Goku and Vegeta fighting each other. You can see that they still have the aura and lightning and everything, even in these panels. And like side by side, even with Goten and Trunks, you can see that like Toriyama doesn't forget to like draw the details of like the forms that they're in, as you can see like here, and even in all these panels,
okay,
where like Vegeta's monologuing, you can see that like he draws all the lightning and shit.
Yeah.
And then what is it called? Gohan powers up here, and even when he powers up right here and he's about to fire the Kamehameha, you can see Toriyama doesn't draw any lightning or anything. His aura is a little bit more intense in that panel, but like he still doesn't have like the signifiers of Super Saiyan 2. Even in these panels right here, when he's like using like every ounce of strength that he has basically to try and like destroy I guess you could say his like pod that Boo is in. Like he can't do anything to it. And he also he's obviously not drawing a Super Saiyan 2 here. You can see even in this far away shot, he doesn't have the like aura or lightning or anything. And then
is that all?
No, I think I'm gonna go to the Z sword also.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just I'll post that the image real quick.
Sure.
That way you can see, like, because like when he pulls the Z sword out, he also transforms. So I want to capture that also. I believe it's in the next volume. And then after that, we can start talking about the interpretation.
Yeah, I'll respond to everything you said.
Mm-hmm. Alright, here we go. So this is him powering up to pull out the Z sword. And you can see that here he also doesn't have the aura or the lightning. Alright, there you go.
Okay. Is that everything?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So let's go back to one of the first things you said, which was about Gohan being Super Saiyan 2 in the tournament and him getting his energy drained from Spopovich and Yam.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you stated that the lightning dissipated after a portion because his loss of energy, right?
Yes.
So would that mean then that it's possible to be in Super Saiyan 2 and not produce the lightning, so long as you are not using a certain amount of energy?
No, I wouldn't say so. The reason why I would say that is because in the instance where his like lightning is dissipated, right? The reason why like it's not visible is because imagine like the aura as like a tangible like thing that you can see, right? And what the device does, it's like it sucks in like your energy, like your aura that you're producing and such, right? and that's why his aura like
You said the device
isn't
sucks in your
visible when
aura?
he's getting his energy drained.
You said the device sucks in your aura?
Yeah, like it like pulls in your energy basically.
Well, right. Energy, right? Or aura.
Yeah.
Or both.
That's why you're not able to see it when he's like getting his energy drained. It's not necessarily like if you're producing a low amount of energy in Super Saiyan 2, like you wouldn't produce the lightning. The only example I could think where you wouldn't produce the lightning would be if you didn't have your aura on whatsoever, but even then, like Toriyama still draws them with the lightning, even when they don't have their aura on. He just doesn't like draw it in every panel.
Okay, so you're saying that the device, it takes your aura, not your energy, or it takes only the energy of your aura? I'm trying to figure out this aura.
I'm saying
argument
it does
you're
both.
making.
Like it takes your energy, and by proxy of taking your energy, it pulls your aura in also.
Right.
Like you know how like when Goku was fighting Yakan, for example, when he got his energy sucked in by Yakan, like his aura went away, like his Super Saiyan aura went away and everything.
Well,
like
that
the light
doesn't
and
have to
everything
be
went
the
away.
same as this device that they're using, right?
No, I'm not necessarily saying it's exactly the same. I'm just giving an example as to like what is happening with the device. Like I'm trying to give an analogy basically.
Okay.
Like I'm not saying they're exactly the same.
Yeah. Well, first I'm gonna make the distinction and say they are different because when Yakon took Goku's energy, it literally took him out of the form. Whereas for Gohan, you already agree that's not really what happened. He was still a Super Saiyan 2. The aura just dissipated. So I will say they are
after
different.
his energy was drained, he reverted to base form.
Right, after a certain period of time. But like when when it was for Goku, it was instantaneous. And there wasn't like an aura leaving Goku first and then, the transformation went off. He just kind of took off the transformation as if he like consumed more. Well, I don't know if he consumed more energy or not, but basically they kind of happened in different instances. And here, Gohan is still a Super Saiyan 2, right? Just without his lightning after a certain portion of the energy being drained. Now, it taking his aura as a proxy of taking his energy, that's cool, but that's kind of what I was asking you earlier. Basically, you could be a Super Saiyan 2 and not have the lightning, is basically what you're saying. So long as your energy is below a certain
That's
threshold.
not necessarily what I'm getting at, though. I'm just saying that, like, in this instance, what's happening is Gohan's energy is getting drained, and through his energy getting drained, he loses the aura and everything.
Lack of
and
energy.
Eventually
Lack of energy
can
lead to the lightning dissipating, right?
Well, when he's like, yes, but I'm saying like contextually, as to like what's happening in the scene, his energy's all getting sucked out of him, and he's reverting back to base form progressively. So what happens is he loses the aura and the lightning and everything, and then he reverts back to base form. But it's all like one process that he's undergoing.
But he was in Super Saiyan 2 despite not having the lightning coming out from him, meaning that's a possible thing,
but that's
right?
because the energy that he had was going into the device.
I'm aware of that, but regardless, it would still suggest that you could be Super Saiyan 2 and not have the aura out. Or not the aura, the lightning specifically. Since he was in Super Saiyan 2 without lightning. So that would mean that it is possible to be in Super Saiyan 2 without lightning. Now the conditions, we can talk about that, but it is possible regardless. Because he wasn't Super Saiyan 2 without lightning.
Hold on. I see where you're getting at, right? Like I see what you mean in the aspect of like, well, he's shown as Super Saiyan 2 without the lightning, but the context in which he's shown without the lightning is important, right? All of his energy is going into the device, so he's not being shown with any of the characteristics of Super Saiyan 2, but that's only because all of his energy is being sapped away from him, and in the next panel he's shown he's actively in his base form. Look, I'll even show you I'll show you both panels.
Sure. While you get that panel, I'm going to reiterate what I'm saying a little bit, but I guess I'll reform it to what you're saying. I do agree that context matters, though I believe the context in this case would just be the fact that his energy is dropping. So I'm not just saying this means that, you could power up to a full powered Super Saiyan 2 in some type of instance and not have the lightning necessarily. I'm just saying that you could be in Super Saiyan 2 and not be producing the lightning, since that's what was happening with him. Now, if you want to say that can only happen when your energy drops below a certain threshold or something of that nature, maybe you could say that, but it would just be
I believe it can only happen when your energy is getting like drained by that device specifically.
Okay, I'll note that for later. Let me see what you sent me.
Yeah, I like my reason for saying this is that would you agree that like before Goku and Vegeta, like before Vegeta knocks out Goku, right? They're about to take sensu beans because they're low on energy from having fought for so long. Like, would you agree with that?
Agree that they're low on energy?
Yeah, like the reason why they're taking sensu beans in that instance is like they're low on energy from having fought for so long.
I don't think they have to be low on energy. They could just not be at max where they'd want to be in a fight against Boo just to be at the most optimal setting. They don't have to have low energy though necessarily.
All right, hold on. Let me read the exchange again real quick before I.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'll present the like my argument. I just kind of wanted to confirm what you were saying about the lightning and everything, and then get back to it later. So, I would say that Super Saiyan 2 and even Super Saiyan 3 don't have consistent showings, even in the manga, of their depiction in terms of the aura. And I could provide a few examples of them actually being inconsistent.
Okay. Could you give one?
Yeah, I'll start sending them, actually.
All right.
But before that, you do agree that Super Saiyan 3 also is shown to be depicted with the lightning as well?
I would say Super Saiyan 3 is also depicted with aura and lightning, but it has its own like unique aura, different from Super Saiyan 2. Like
right.
Super Saiyan 2 and 3 have their own
like
aura.
The lightning though, right? Is still something that's a consistent portrayal of Super Saiyan 3, or it's supposed to be?
I would say so, yes.
Okay. So, and I can get the entire panel if you'd like, though I personally cropped out certain instances of this. So I'm going to show the Super Saiyan 3 first, and then I'll show the Super Saiyan 2.
Right.
So these are instances of Super Saiyan 3 Goku not shown or drawn with the lightning.
Alright, could you share the Super Saiyan 2 one?
Yeah. So this is Majin Vegeta against Buu as a Super Saiyan 2, but shown with the white Super Saiyan aura. The same aura that, you know, we established that you said previously is what he draws to depict Super Saiyan, and not Super Saiyan 2. So that's, you know, if you want to contest Majin Vegeta being Super Saiyan 2 against Buu, I guess we could do that if you feel the need, but that's him like that. The aura is still there as well when Goten and Trunks go to save him from this very attack. This is him in his exchange with Goku, also having the white aura, which we established he was a Super Saiyan 2 when he was fighting Goku.
Yep, I agree.
Let's see.
All right.
I think I'll stick to those for now.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna start with the Majin Vegeta portion because that's the one that I'm on right now. So.
Sure.
All right. Right now, I'm just gonna go like through like all the panels basically. So right here, this is like right after Buu awakens, and they're like, Buu's ki is increased terribly. He's no ordinary guy, right? And then he's like, why should I care? It has nothing to do with our fight. And here they're drawn with the Super Saiyan 2 aura. But then right before what is it called? Well, actually, he's still drawn with the Super Saiyan 2 aura here. I was gonna say right before he knocks him out. This is kind of illustrating like another point, or that I said earlier, right? Which is that I believe Toriyama, like once a character is established to be Super Saiyan 2 already, right? For instance, like we already know Goku and Vegeta turned Super Saiyan 2 at this point, so they're Super Saiyan 2 now, right? Until we see them not Super Saiyan 2, they're Super Saiyan 2, right? So like, I believe Toriyama deliberately chooses, right, to not draw the lightning in certain instances where it would obscure the visuals of the manga, right? For example, right, in the Super Saiyan 3 panels that you posted, I believe him drawing the lightning there would like outright obscure like the paneling that he was trying to convey of like Goku's facial expressions and everything, right? I believe that he deliberately chose not to draw the lightning in those instances because it would have obscured like the action that he was trying to convey, basically.
Yeah, I see what
in
you're
all of
saying.
those far away shots.
So, well, one of the problems with that is that, and I guess I'll have to bring up the whole paneling, but the super, like just speaking on the Super Saiyan 3 one before we go on to the Majin Vegeta one again, you'll see in the same panel that he actually does draw the lightning on Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He just doesn't more consistently than he does. In the same kind of shots you're saying that you believe that he wouldn't do it to obscure something, he actually arguably does obscure one of the panels when he does do it in the same instance. So like this, for example, I just have this on hand.
Could you show the Super Saiyan 3 panel? Because like I posted the...
I got you. Yeah. One second.
What is it called? I posted the full one for Majin Vegeta, so you could kind of see what I mean.
Yeah, I got you. I'll send it.
Like he does draw it in some of these panels here, but he chooses not to draw it in like certain panels that like it obscures the visuals. Or like when he does draw it, he draws it kind of minimally.
What's your determination of obscuring the visual? Like you don't think that it
like anything that would impede like the flow of movement between, like, here, I'll give an example right here. Like right here, when Vegeta launches like that swing at Goku, like there's like no lightning drawn in those panels.
Oh yeah, I got
because
you
it would
for
have
this
obscured
one.
the motion.
Like that makes sense. But what about let's say like the two? Okay, so like the panel that you sent above the Super Saiyan 3 one I sent. If you look at where he's saying "I'll deal with you later," right? You see the lightning is clearly there. But when he says
but he draws it like very minimalist.
Yeah, he draws it minimally, but it's still there. Like it's able to be present, and Vegeta's size doesn't impact him not being able to draw lightning, right? Then when you look up right before that, when he says,
you can see it. I was gonna say you can see in like the whole like page, right? He chooses to draw it very minimally because it would have obscured like the action of like
when
Vegeta
you say
picking
that
up the
though,
sense
like
of
it
being
would
and
have
like
obscured the action and stuff like that. That's where I feel like you kind of get into your own opinion with that, because like in the specific panel I'm talking about, there's enough space for the lightning to be drawn. And it's not even just that he doesn't draw the lightning, the entire aura has a change to it. It's not even really just like no lightning, it's like no lightning in an aura that wouldn't fit the established framework of aura you've established for Super Saiyan 2B, right? So like when he's saying here...
I get what you mean.
Hold on, even when it's saying right here, even you letting your guard down at a time like this, even right there, in the same way that he could have drawn the lightning there. Yeah, he could have. You agree?
I'm not saying he couldn't have. I'm saying I think he chose not to in that instance.
Okay, but that kind of.
But you could also argue at the same time. Hold on, you could also argue at the same time that his aura was different because he was low on energy, because he takes the Senzu Bean and powers up, and then his aura is immediately drawn like Super Saiyan 2 again.
You did disagree earlier though that would be a possibility, so I don't think we can't really assert that here at this time. You kind of said that the aura is indicative of Super Saiyan 2 pretty consistently, and even a lack of energy wouldn't be a way that you could still be in Super Saiyan 2 and not have the lightning, which is what we established earlier. But aside from that, once you grant me the possibility that he could have drawn the lightning, then we can no longer, like for example in this one instance, we can't any longer look past other instances where he could have drawn the lightning and didn't, because it goes against the whole idea that like he didn't draw it because he would inconvenience something. In this case, he wouldn't be inconveniencing anything, he would just be choosing not to. So it makes it, pretty inconsistent.
I'm saying I think he could have, but if he did, it would have been an inconvenience to the shot.
What would make it inconvenient?
Like, I think he chose not to, so that like the action and like the posing of Vegeta would be more clear.
Yeah, I'm asking what suggests that, since the two panels I'm bringing up, they're pretty identical in what's happening. There's no real action that would be taking away from him needing to draw little lightning bolts.
Him picking up the Senzu Bean and looking at it.
Well, the Senzu Bean picking up part isn't the panel I'm talking about. I'm talking about the panel right after he picks up the Senzu Bean.
Him looking over Goku's body, right? That's like right after.
Yeah, putting lightning there wouldn't inconvenience him looking down at Goku. Then later on, when he's still looking at Goku, he has the lightning there.
I believe it would block Goku in the shot.
I mean, it didn't block
like
Goku
you can
in the
see even when he's drawn as Super Saiyan 2 in the bottom panel, Goku's like not visible in the shot.
He's not visible.
Like you can see him in the back, but like he's not standing over Goku in that shot.
I don't. Well, I
If that
mean,
makes sense.
yeah, but you could still draw the same size lightning bolts he did there, and it wouldn't inconvenience seeing Goku there. It's
I
also kind of
mean,
less
the
about.
argument,
Yeah, go ahead.
technically it's possible, but he doesn't always draw the lightning the same though. I feel like in Toriyama's like, if I were to try to like view it from his mindset, right? I feel like he just chose not to draw it in that instance because he feels like um it would have blocked like the whole like shot that he was going for, like having the lightning there. I think he just chose not to draw it in that panel because like it would
Well,
have obscured the visuals that he was going for.
here's the thing, right? I mean that we'll
Yeah.
have to agree to disagree to, since I mean the paneling, even though like even if he basically drew the exact same thing that he drew in that panel right there, it wouldn't obscure the visuals. Like the size wouldn't impact Goku in
Mhm.
any way. But the problem you're
Yeah,
gonna
we can agree
have,
to disagree for that.
yeah. But the problem you're gonna have though when you're trying to establish that Super Saiyan 2 is depicted this one way and it has to be like this or it's not Super Saiyan 2 is once you start agreeing to there being inconsistencies in his artwork and depictions of the form, it's gonna be hard for you to now argue whenever you see it in X way, that means it must be this or that when
Well,
you know.
here's my thing, right? The reason why I don't necessarily think this is this like it's similar, right? But the reason why I don't think this is necessarily the same as the Gohan thing, right, is in these instances, right, that you've pointed out in the Majin Vegeta and the Goku instance, right? We know that Vegeta is Super Saiyan 2, right? And we know Goku's Super Saiyan 3. Obviously, he's Super Saiyan 3. He has the hair, right, of Super Saiyan 3, right? And Super Saiyan 3's hair is obviously very distinctive compared to the other forms, right? Like we know that these characters are in these forms, even when the lightning in these instances is inconsistent, right? As you
What do
claim,
we
right?
know it
Which
by?
I'm not even gonna deny, right? I'll grant you that it's inconsistent
Okay.
in these instances, right? For these specific like forms, right? Majin Vegeta Super Saiyan 2 and Goku Super Saiyan 3. The difference between these and Gohan Super Saiyan 2 is he's consistently not drawn with the lightning and aura for the rest of the manga. Like he never has it in a single panel for the rest of the manga after he goes Super Saiyan 2 against Kibito.
Well, according to what you said earlier, he wouldn't really need to. You made an
Well,
argument
I
earlier, or
wouldn't
you
say
was
that like
attempting to make an
I
argument
wouldn't say
that.
that like the instances that we've gave are analogous to like, for instance, like Gohan going Super Saiyan to pull out the Z sword, right? I don't think it would logically make sense that like Gohan, if he was to be Super Saiyan 2 there, would just like not have the energy required to produce the lightning, right? And it also wouldn't be obscuring the visuals to have the lightning there, right? Because it would be an important part of the scene.
I mean, you were arguing earlier though that once he established that once it's established that the transformation is what it is, like they can use Super Saiyan 2, there isn't always a need to draw what you're suggesting he
Well,
didn't
that's
draw
not
for the rest of the
necessarily what I
stuff.
was saying. I wasn't saying once they establish they can use Super Saiyan 2. I'm saying once it's established they're already in the form.
Okay.
Like Super Saiyan 3 Goku, there's obviously still Super Saiyan 3 Goku, even when he's
Sure.
not drawn with the lightning in those couple of panels, right? But when Gohan
Sure.
goes Super Saiyan against Majin Buu, for example, right? It's not confirmed if he's Super Saiyan 2 or not unless you go by the visual indicators such as the lightning and the aura, and he's never drawn with the Super Saiyan 2 aura in a single panel, even when he's powering up to his maximum and doing like a Kamehameha full force at Majin Buu.
Right. But as established right here, and before we get into like, because we're just talking simply about the lightning portion, but it's not even really just that Majin Vegeta lacks lightning here. He has the aura of the Super Saiyan 1. The same aura that you'd be saying is the reason
No, I
Gohan
get what you
wasn't
mean.
in
Yeah.
Super Saiyan 2, right? So it's like, okay. The next thing is just kind of like, we've seen Gohan turn Super Saiyan 2 already. And then the other instances we see he has this, what you call Super Saiyan aura. The same that another Super Saiyan 2, such as Majin Vegeta, had in more than one instance, not just like one time only. So if you're
I
judging
would
it
say
by
though that the instances
visuals,
that Majin Vegeta had the ore are very different from the instances that Gohan
what would be the
has
difference?
the ore.
What would be the difference?
They're like, for instance, right, the panel where he's like being engulfed by like Boo, right? You could argue that his ore is being trapped by like Boo's gum, right?
His
So
aura
you
is
can't
being
actually
trapped?
see the full extent of his ore. Yeah,
I
like you
mean,
can
well,
literally see
that's
his
not
aura is
true.
trapped inside of the gum, like it can't escape.
Yeah, his aura gets trapped inside the gum, but his aura is like, it's white even after the gum's off of him, and I don't.
Well, I would argue
Like,
it being white
his
isn't
aura being
necessarily like.
trapped, quote unquote, is only because his physical body's being restrained, and the aura is supposed to like be reflective of his outer how you say, like, outline. So if his head is now starting to be restricted or his body's getting bunched up, his aura is going to follow the same discipline because it's basically attached to his physical body. So I don't think that Boo is affecting the color or the depiction of his aura in any way simply by being wrapped in it. Because again, this is the established Super Saiyan aura that you opposed like earlier. Like you
I
established
mean,
this is the aura for Super Saiyan, right?
I do think that him being trapped in the gum is playing a part in how his aura is being depicted. You know, as you said yourself, you said that like his aura, right, is like it's a reflection of like his body, right, of like what his person's going through, right. So him being encased in the
Well,
gum,
that not
his aura is also being encased in the gum.
yeah, well, not exactly that. It's his physical representation. So, for example, if your arm goes up or down, your arm aura around your arm should go up and down. Not like
Yeah,
if
I
you're
know, but
very
like
bruised in your
regardless, though,
arm, your
you're
aura
agreeing
should
to the
change or
fact that
something.
like his aura is being changed because of how his physical person's being changed.
In terms of its physical representation and like in the okay,
Yeah.
so hold on, because I want to make sure I'm clear about what I'm saying. I don't want to confuse you. So like, let's say your aura is very widespread, and then in this case with Vegeta, you start to get tightly gripped. Your aura is gonna now start to reflect your tight gripped body because it's
Yeah.
supposed to be around your entire body, but that would not change its, you know, like its coloring, its intention, the way that it was drawn. It wouldn't change it like that.
As
That
for the
doesn't really make any
coloring thing,
sense.
I wouldn't say the colorings is necessarily like a factor because I'm going over like the original black and white manga, right? Like you can bring up
I mean,
like the
it does
manga
kind
color,
of matter
right?
though, right? Because this is the Super Saiyan aura, but this is Super Saiyan 2 Majin Vegeta. Using the aura that
Yeah, but what I'm saying
you're
is like
using to
you're saying it's the Super Saiyan aura because it lacks like the yellow outline in the lightning, right? I already addressed the lightning aspect, and the yellow outline isn't present in the original manga.
This is the original manga. What do you mean?
The original manga doesn't have color.
Okay. I mean, the coloring obviously like that matters, right? It's not like that is the part of the original manga. It's just colored.
There's no real like color rings in the original manga, though, is what I'm saying.
I mean, we're both.
Like the only distinction is like sometimes he'll draw like the outline more like thick.
Okay,
like,
so even if for whatever reason I didn't grant the coloring, even though this is the original manga being colored, it still wouldn't be indicative of the Super Saiyan 2 aura. This is exactly what Gohan's aura looks like when he's fighting Bojack. Or not Bojack, Deborah, sorry.
No, I'm saying like the color, like I understand the point that you're making where it's like you're saying like he lacks the yellow coloring when he's like
not even
encased
just
by
the
Boo,
coloring.
but I'm saying like
it's not drawn like the Super Saiyan.
Yeah, no. I'm only addressing the color part right now though. I'm saying like Toriyama didn't do the colors for the manga.
Okay, sure. It's still not the Super Saiyan 2 aura though, right?
That's fine though, but it's a different group of people doing that.
I'm not even talking about the color.
I'm fine with admitting they made mistakes in their coloring.
Sure, I'll grant you the color thing, but it doesn't really change my argument because it's still not the Super Saiyan 2 aura. Like color or not.
No, yeah, but like your reason for it being a different aura is that like the shape is different, right? Obviously, and the lightning. But I already addressed the shape and the lightning being different because of the fact he's being encased by Boo.
It's even different though in this case when he's standing over Goku as well. It's not even just the Boo instance. And it's not really.
No, yeah, but I already addressed the Goku instance also.
Well, not necessarily. You were addressing why there wasn't lightning, but not addressing why the aura wasn't the Super Saiyan 2 aura. Why it wasn't drawn like a Super Saiyan 2 aura. You didn't. That wasn't
like why it wasn't drawn. Oh, I did address that though. I said once a character is already established to be like in Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 3, right? Not when they're established to be able to transform into it. Once they're established to already be in the form, right? For instance, when Goku is already Super Saiyan 3 versus Kid Buu, right? If he forgets to draw the lightning in one like panel, right? He's still obviously Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right? You can still tell he's Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right?
Yeah.
The difference between those instances, right, that you brought up and the instances we're bringing up of Gohan is he's consistently not drawn with the Super Saiyan 2 aura for every single instance after the Kibito fight. like consistently.
Yeah, and what I'm
It's not just
suggesting is that using a
forgetting,
visual
like, he
depiction
just didn't
of
draw it.
what's up?
I said, like, in the instance of like Gohan's aura, right? It's not just the case of, oh, he forgot to draw it. He literally just doesn't draw him with the lightning and aura.
Well, my argument wouldn't be that he forgot necessarily, but when I can like show you that Super Saiyan 2 can also be depicted with the same aura as Super Saiyan, like in these instances I'm giving you, it doesn't really matter if Gohan's ever drawn with it again, because using the aura as a visual representation of if someone's in Super Saiyan 2 or not would just fall flat based on this that I'm showing you right now.
Well, what I'm arguing though is that like the instances you're bringing up aren't necessarily the same as like Gohan being in Super Saiyan 2, because these characters that you're bringing up where they're like missing the lightning and the aura, they're already established to be in that form.
Well, like, why would that matter?
Like, what do you mean? Why would that matter? Like,
why does it, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why does it matter? You're saying that because they were Super Saiyan 2 prior, or you know they are, it doesn't matter how they're visually depicted? The visual depiction is your whole argument.
I'm saying in these instances that you're bringing up, right, it's okay for Toriyama to have forgotten to have drawn the lightning and aura for Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Majin Vegeta, because not only does he remember to draw it in panels immediately after, but he consistently draws it for them for a majority of the manga. And we already know that these characters that you're bringing up are transformed, whereas compared to Gohan, right, he's never drawn with any of the indicators of Super Saiyan 2, other than you could argue like his hair,
with one
right?
Yeah, his hair is, yeah.
Yeah, but I would say that like his hair changes though, because we see in the tournament he turns Super Saiyan, and he has a different hair from earlier on in the saga. And it's not like they're low detail panels either. They're like high detail panels.
So in these instances, it's not this isn't an instance of forgetting something. He's literally drawing the same aura he would draw when he draws Super Saiyan. So that wouldn't be forgetting. That would be intentionally making the aura the Super Saiyan aura rather than Super Saiyan 2. There's a difference between forgetting something and drawing something exactly like something else. Like this wouldn't be forgetting in this case. So I can't necessarily.
Yeah, I'm not claiming that. I'm not claiming necessarily that he's forgetting.
Well,
what do you call it?
You suggested that it could be possible, and I just don't.
Yeah, I think the what like hold on. I think what's happening in the instances that you brought up, right, is that Toriyama is choosing not to draw it the way that like it's stereotypically characterized in the manga, because he already knows that the viewer knows that these characters are in that state. Right, like he already knows that Goku is Super Saiyan 3, right? And he knows the viewer knows that Goku is Super Saiyan 3, and he also knows the viewer knows that Vegeta is Super Saiyan 2 here when he's standing over Goku's body, right? The difference between these instances and Gohan is that it's not immediately clear that Gohan is Super Saiyan 2 at any point, visually or narratively, right? Because he struggles to transform and to be at like his full capacity, right?
Wait,
so that could be interpreted as he doesn't have his full power in Super Saiyan 2, or he's simply struggling to use Super Saiyan 2 as a whole.
Where did he struggle to use when did he struggle? When was that?
When did he struggle to use Super Saiyan 2?
Yeah, where's the struggling instance that you're suggesting Gohan went through?
When he was trying to destroy like Boo's like pod. When he powered up and he did the Kamehameha.
Can you show me him struggling to use Super Saiyan 2?
Well, I'm arguing that like he literally isn't able to go Super Saiyan 2 in this instance.
Well, I'm aware of that, but what are you basing that
on? Well, I mean, I could show you his facial expression compared to like when he goes Super Saiyan 2 prior. Like you can see there, he's like visibly like sweating and like worried about like transforming basically, right? Whereas compared to if I go up here and I go to when he went Super Saiyan 2 versus Kibito, you can see that like he's way more focused.
I can give you reasons why he'd be more focused in the tournament and not here if your argument is based on his facial expressions, which I don't think that's a very solid argument. But
you asked me for why I would believe that. Like you asked for like an indicator basically, so I'm giving you like an indicator.
I can give you a reason though why it would be different.
Why?
So a lot is riding on Gohan doing this in this moment, and the pressure of that could be the indication as to why. Like in the tournament, everyone's still there. His dad's there to encourage him. He has all the time in the world he really wants to. He gets to just sit there and do it at Kibito's request. Whereas here, if he arguably doesn't perform how he needs to, it could seriously impact the world and what's going on in the situation. So that's already a reason for Gohan to be more pressured in one instance than the other. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not turning Super Saiyan 2 in his moment. This could just be why he's struggling to do it more so than when he was before.
Well, I would argue him struggling to do it and then proceeding to like not have any visual indicators of Super Saiyan 2.
He does have a
other than
visual
like
indicator.
his hair.
Yeah.
Would be like a factor of him not being Super Saiyan 2.
Well, his hair would be one factor, and the shock of how powerful he is to Kibito, who already, or not Kibito,
but
to Shin, who's already seen him turn Super Saiyan 2.
Hold on, I kind of already established that when he went Super Saiyan in the tournament, right? Like when he was angry here and he goes Super Saiyan in the tournament, you can clearly see that like his hair is different from how it's drawn earlier in the arc.
I mean, you already said that his hair is inconsistent, so
yeah,
like
I don't like. I wouldn't necessarily say his hair is a factor of him being Super Saiyan 2 because it's not.
So then it wouldn't be a factor
like
of him being
after
Super
the tournament,
Saiyan
it's not
either, right?
consistent. You said what?
It would go both ways then. It wouldn't work just for Super Saiyan 2. If you say that his hair is inconsistent, then you can't use it for your Super Saiyan argument either, because you'd say that either it could be Super Saiyan 1 or 2, right? Like either way it could go. Because it can't be only inconsistent for that, but
yeah, in the aspect of like his hair could be Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2, I agree, but then you have to also look at the aura and the lightning, right? But
and then it goes back to what we said earlier, that the aura doesn't have to be indicative of Super Saiyan 2, since Super Saiyan 2s are shown with the aura to not be that.
Yeah, but like the difference between the examples that you've given and the example that I'm bringing up, like right now, for instance, of him going Super Saiyan versus Majin Buu, right? He's not established to be Super Saiyan 2 at this point, right?
Well, we can get into why he would be later, because I have statements of him being stated to be able to turn into Super Saiyan 2 and things of that nature. So we could get into that now, I guess.
Yeah, we can get into that, but like at least in the original manga, right? Like just looking at the original manga without bringing up like the guidebooks, it's not like established that he's Super Saiyan 2 at this point, or that he went Super Saiyan 2 at this point, right?
Well,
because he's
that
not
would be
drawn
only if you are using the visual indicators, which we've already proved to be inconsistent in themselves. And you brought up an argument saying, I'm about to say what you said. You also
the proving the visual indicators to be inconsistent applies to characters that we already know are Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah, you
right?
made that argument, but you haven't been able to substantiate that the reason that they were drawn inconsistent is because Toriyama thought that we knew already what it was, so he didn't have to keep drawing it. That's like your own kind of baseless assertion.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's a baseless assertion, because the only examples that you've given are characters that we already know are Super Saiyan 2 or 3.
You could say that only you would know because you're basing your indicators off of the visuals, but that would be the reason why you'd say they're not, rather than it being the case. Like for you, the aura has to be this to mean this. So if that's the way that you judge it, yeah, you'd say, well, they're already Super Saiyan 2, right? Because that's the way that you're judging it. But if that's already an inconsistent way to judge if they are in the form or not, then using it just becomes circular at that point. It's like saying they're, because they're drawn with Super Saiyan auras, not even Super Saiyan 2. Like it's like a whole different thing that's being drawn.
We've established that it's inconsistent, right? But we've only established that it's inconsistent for characters that are already established to be Super Saiyan 2 or 3.
Not necessarily.
So like I wouldn't say that it's the same.
Not necessarily, because I would say it's inconsistent with Gohan also. So not necessarily.
Yeah, but like the difference between like Gohan's aura and like Majin Vegeta's aura, right, is like Gohan's consistently not drawn with the aura and lightning for the rest of the manga, whereas Vegeta, for instance, in a Super Saiyan 2 form, he gets the aura and lightning in like many panels afterwards. Even like in the example that you gave, from panel to panel, there's panels where he has the lightning, right? But we already know that Majin Vegeta is Super Saiyan 2 at that point, versus Gohan, who we don't know is Super Saiyan 2 at this point.
So the thing is, though, with Majin Vegeta, is that would be his first time. That would be Vegeta's first time using Super Saiyan 2 that we would see on screen. So depicting it as Super Saiyan 2 in the beginning would be necessary, right? With the aura establishing what you're saying, because they'd be showing the audience, okay, this is Super Saiyan. Hold on, let me just finish the point, right? So using the same logic, this is Vegeta's first time using Super Saiyan 2. It's Goku's second, but we've established that the first time, sure, he didn't have aura he didn't have a lightning. At least you argue that he didn't have lightning when he used it because inconvenience or it was so quick, whatever the reason may be. But in this case, Majin Vegeta would be shown with the lightning to establish that he would be Super Saiyan 2, right? Since this be the first time he's using it, it would show us the difference. So Gohan already shown that he can turn Super Saiyan 2 at will with the lightning. So there's no reason that he would have to, by your own logic, keep drawing that lightning later on, since we already know Gohan can use Super Saiyan 2. So there'd be no need.
That's not really what I'm saying, though. I'm not saying that because they can do it, that he doesn't have to draw. I'm saying because they're already in the state. Like, for example, again, right? Goku against Fat Buu, right? Or against Kid Buu, my bad. Against Kid Buu, when he's like in those panels, right? We know Goku Super Saiyan 3 in those panels, right?
We do, because of his long Super Saiyan 3 hair. But with someone like Gohan, where his hair, as you already established, in Super Saiyan 1 and 2 is interchangeable, to then say like, okay,
well,
yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's interchangeable.
Well, you said it was. You pretty much said that earlier. You're changing your stance on that?
What I mean is, like, after the tournament, right? Toriyama basically just stopped drawing his Super Saiyan hair differently. He draws them basically the same.
Well, yeah, but you're basing that off of your visual interpretation, right?
Because, like, if his Super Saiyan 2 form was drawn with, like, his early Super Saiyan hair, for example, that would just be, like, incorrect. But, like, he's never drawn like that.
What do you mean?
Like, you know how, like, when he's training with Goten, for example, his hair is, like, obviously different. Or, like, when he's handling, like, the bullies in, like, the Golden Warrior outfit.
When he trains with Gohan, he does still have the Super Saiyan 2, like, hair.
Like when he was Golden Warrior, or when he was
When he was training with Goten, he had the Super Saiyan 2 like hair in one of the panels that you're talking about. He had that. It wasn't still the Golden Warrior. Yeah, sure.
Show me. And then after you show me, I will what is it called? I'll talk about the thing you said about the forms again.
Sure. One sec. Okay, I'm gonna drop it in the chat.
Okay.
Right there.
Let me take a look. That's not the Super Saiyan 2 here.
Well, his hair, I can give you a similar instance of his hair looking like that in these times that you're questioning if he had the Super Saiyan 2 or not. Because this is definitely different than the panel that you just sent above. That's definitely not the same type of hair.
What, like the one where he's Golden Warrior, or the one where he's in the tournament?
The one where he's Golden Warrior. It actually looks similar to the one in the tournament.
That's because his hair is flowing in the wind.
It's not even just the flow, it's drawn spikier. Like if you look at the ends of the Golden Warrior hair of the panel you just sent above that, it doesn't even have the same level of spike that this does. This is shown clearly more
it's also just a more detailed panel.
It is, but it's clearly drawn differently on the sides of his hair. Like it doesn't look like that.
Yeah, because it's a different, what would you call that? Like a different instance of his hair, basically. Like it's a different action he's performing. Obviously his hair wouldn't look the same.
Different action he's performing? I mean, it's...
Yeah, like his hair is actively like flowing in the wind there.
Let me point out specifically what I'm talking about. Because this isn't necessarily something looking different in terms of its movement. This is just simply drawn differently, like very different. So I'm just
I agree that it's drawn differently, but I think that it's drawn differently because one, it's a more detailed panel, and two, because he's performing a different action where his hair would be in a different state.
His hair would be spikier because the wind is blowing?
His hair is spikier because it's more detailed. I said because of two reasons. One, it's more detailed.
Yeah, but that's the same thing with the Super Saiyan 2, right?
Action.
Like, it just looks like Super Saiyan 1, but with more spiky detail. That's kind of what a Super Saiyan 2 hairstyle is, right?
I mean, yeah, it still looks like his Super Saiyan hair. It doesn't look like his Super Saiyan 2 hair.
I mean, sure, okay. I guess we'll have to agree or disagree on that.
I mean, the main indicator of that would be like the extra bang that he has in his hair.
The extra bang?
Like at the front.
So you're saying that the extra bang is an indicator of Super Saiyan 2?
I'm saying the main indicator in this instance that we're bringing up.
Rather.
Yeah, I'm saying in this instance, the main indicator of him still being Super Saiyan 1 in that panel with Goten would be like the extra bang that he has. In that instance. Because I already established that like his tournament, when he goes Super Saiyan in the tournament, he doesn't have the bang.
Looking like Super Saiyan 2, right? And they become looking similar, right? Because that doesn't happen anymore. Like this 2 bang thing to establish Super Saiyan, it loses its like meaning, right?
Yeah, I'm saying like after the tournament, it's different. From the tournament onward, it's different. But prior to the tournament, he still has the 2 bangs pretty consistently.
So then you would agree that his hair drawing is inconsistent after the tournament?
Yeah, I was saying that like once we get to the tournament, right, his Super Saiyan hair starts looking like a Super Saiyan 2 hair.
Okay, that's what I said earlier, but you said that you didn't agree that they looked like the same. You were like, nah, it's...
I was saying they weren't interchangeable because I said that like his Super Saiyan 2 hair doesn't look like his early Super Saiyan 1 hair.
Right, but his tournament and onward Super Saiyan hair looks like his Super Saiyan 2 hair, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then so then that goes back to what I was saying before we kind of got into confusion about that. If that's the case, then when you're looking at what you believe to be Super Saiyan hair from the tournament onward, it can go either way. So you can't say that his hair is not the way you can use the indication, right? You agree to that?
Well, it's not only based on
his hair. If you say that they're the same, then you can't use the hair as a way to indicate either way if it's Super Saiyan 1 or 2, right? You have to agree to that once you agree they're the same.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, no.
Okay. But if you say that his Super Saiyan 1 hair and his Super Saiyan 2 hair and the tournament going onward are the same, which is what you just said.
Yeah, I'm saying they look basically like...
Exactly, they look basically the same. That means that any other instance after the tournament, you can't say this is Super Saiyan 1 or 2 hair based on the hair, right? You'd have to agree to that. Since you're saying they're the same, how would you know? Right.
Yeah, okay. I'm saying like after the tournament, from the tournament afterwards, it's primarily based on like his aura and lightning.
Okay, so then that takes us back to the aura and lightning thing, right? Which
but like, all right, now let me address that point because you were saying that like characters that can turn Super Saiyan 2, right? Is what you said. That characters that can turn Super Saiyan 2, right, don't need to have the aura and lightning, right? Which is not necessarily what I was saying. What I was saying is characters that we know are already in a certain form, right? For example, I had brought up Goku against Kid Buu, right? We know Goku Super Saiyan 3, right? So if he draws the aura differently in 1 or 2 panels, right, but still draws him collectively consistently for the most part as Super Saiyan 3 with the aura, with the hair, with the lightning, then you can obviously tell that Goku in that instance is Super Saiyan 3, right? You would agree?
Specifically for Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I know he's Super Saiyan 3 without the aura. So it's kind of a different instance there. But I would agree he is.
Yeah, but like I'm saying that like collectively he's still drawn like for a majority of the manga with the correct aura and lightning.
Sure.
Yeah. So like in that instance, right?
You don't really need the aura and lightning though to know if Goku's in Super Saiyan 3. Just to be fair, you don't really need that. So that can allow.
No, yeah, you don't need it, but it's also an indicator, right? But like even then, you could bring up like Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, for example. Right, we could even bring up like Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, for example, right? Because you had brought up like individual panels where like he was drawn with the incorrect aura, right? But like we still know Majin Vegeta Super Saiyan 2 in those instances, right? And he's still drawn for a majority of the manga with the correct aura and lightning, even like going down to like the Kid Buu fight, right? When he goes Super Saiyan 2 versus Kid Buu, he's still drawn with the aura and lightning there, like consistently for like a majority of the panels, if not every panel from that point onward, right? So like he's like a character you could say, even if he's missing the aura and lightning in like one panel or two panels, right? You could still tell that Vegeta is Super Saiyan 2 based on like context clues, right? The difference between him and Gohan, right, is Gohan is consistently drawn with the Super Saiyan aura and not the Super Saiyan 2 aura, right? And as we established,
After
the hair is inconsistent
established that
after
he
the
was
tournament.
able to turn Super Saiyan 2, right?
Hmm?
Because I'm just adding the details when you're getting to Gohan, because it's like you're saying he was drawn with the Super Saiyan aura every time after, whereas, because I pretty much understand your argument. My only issue with that is that your argument is based on the fact that because they're already established to be in the form, you know, being able to transform Super Saiyan 2, and they should be Super Saiyan 2 by whatever indicators you're using. The same could be said for Gohan as well. He shouldn't have to have the aura drawn every time.
Well, I'm saying Gohan is consistently not drawn with the aura. Like it's not the case of, oh well, we already know this character has Super Saiyan 2 or can go Super Saiyan 2. He's literally just only drawn with the Super Saiyan aura for the rest of the series in the original manga anyways.
Well, that's fine. He could, like, it could be the case that it wasn't drawn in the Dabura fight because it doesn't need to be, and every other time it wasn't because he wasn't in Super Saiyan 2.
Why wouldn't it need to be drawn in the Dabura fight?
The same reason that it's not needed to be drawn in the missed times that he didn't. It's just not needed, like your argument establishes.
What do you mean?
So based off your argument, you don't really need to draw. Basically, you can be in Super Saiyan 2 and not have the aura be drawn there. That's basically what you're saying. Doesn't have to be. So
yeah, but I don't feel like the instance where he's fighting Dabura is the same as like Vegeta standing over Goku.
I understand you don't think that they're the same, but it would both be two instances of a Super Saiyan 2 fighter fighting with the Super Saiyan aura, and it's more than one instance for Vegeta having.
Yeah, but I'm saying that like the example that you're giving is not like analogous to like the example that I brought up with like Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Well,
like
with
having,
Super Saiyan 3 Goku, it's not really a factor here because Goku doesn't need lightning or aura for us to know he's in Super Saiyan 3. In this case,
yeah, but even then, like we could tie it back to like Super
really
Saiyan 2 Vegeta, right? Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, like pretty consistently throughout most of the manga, is drawn with the aura and lightning. And even when he's not drawn with it, you know that in those instances, he's still Super Saiyan 2 based on context clues. The difference between that and Gohan is we don't know Gohan is Super Saiyan 2 based on context clues or visual indication.
You would know that Gohan is in Super Saiyan 2 because you're already established. Well, the story already establishes Gohan can become a Super Saiyan 2 at will already. So you wouldn't need to see him with the Super Saiyan 2 aura to know that Gohan can and should be turning into Super Saiyan 2.
Well, I would argue it establishes he can't go Super Saiyan 2 at will based on like the inner monologue he has with himself before he transforms into Super Saiyan versus Buu, where he's like, "I'm mad, but not like the last time."
Oh, that?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Why does that have
like
to be
when he goes like, "I'm mad, but not like before," basically.
Why does that have to be in reference to Super Saiyan 2?
Based on like the context of like the scene, he's
because I can give you an equal interpretation of that not needing to be Super Saiyan 2 that he was referring to. That's actually more consistent in the story.
All right, what's your interpretation?
So, right there, he's talking about his rage boost, like his hidden potential that gets unlocked when he gets angry, and so is Goku, because it doesn't actually make sense what Goku's saying unless that's what's being considered here, because Goku. It's not even just an inner monologue of Gohan thinking he can't get as angry as before. Goku tells him that if he summons all his strength like he did against Cell, no one would be able to beat him. So you would be saying that Goku's wrong in that instance, but he doesn't actually have to be, because when Gohan later gets his potential unlocked into his mystic form, Gohan is the strongest fighter at that time. So Goku's assessment
what do you mean I would be saying Goku's wrong?
Because it's not just Gohan saying like, I'm not as angry as before, I can't turn Super Saiyan 2. It's like Goku tells him if he gets as mad as he got specifically against Cell, in this case, no one would be able to beat him. So that's more than Goku just saying, hey, Gohan, go Super Saiyan 2 like you used to, or if you became a Super Saiyan 2 right now, you'd be the strongest, because that wouldn't actually be correct. But Gohan going Super Saiyan 2, like he did against Cell, where he unlocked some of his hidden potential because he got a rage boost when he did it, that specifically would make Gohan the strongest. And later on, it's consistent because when Gohan does get his potential unlocked, he is the strongest. It wouldn't really make sense for Goku to be saying, if you become a Super Saiyan 2, no one would be able to beat you, because Gohan's obviously weaker than Goku and Vegeta right now. So if that's referencing Super Saiyan 2 specifically, it doesn't actually make sense.
Well, I don't necessarily think your interpretation would, like, you're like, what both of we're saying can be true at the same time. Like, it can be the case that, like, Gohan is referring to the fact that he needs to get his anger boost that, like, he got when he was younger, and that can also be the trigger that causes him to go into Super Saiyan 2 again. And the reason why I say this is because the only instance we know definitively, factually, in, like, every source, the anime, manga, fucking data books, everything, right? The only instance we know definitively Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 in the Buu arc is when he has a motivator that makes him angry enough to go Super Saiyan 2. That being Videl getting her ass beat.
That doesn't have to be why he becomes a Super Saiyan 2, though.
It doesn't have to be, but it's the only instance we know definitively Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 in every source, right? And it's also the only time during the arc that he has enough, like, motivation to be angry enough to go Super Saiyan 2.
You're saying that, but even in this instance, Gohan says that he is angry, just not as much as against Cell, which doesn't have to be the case in the Videl situation.
Well, that's my point, though. He's not as angry as he was before.
Yeah, but that would go against what you're saying, because if you're saying that Gohan needs to... Okay, so if you're saying Gohan can't be going Super Saiyan 2 here because he needs to be a certain level of angry that we've only seen one time, that's not true, because Gohan states here that he is angry, just not as much as against Cell. It makes no reference to Videl.
That's my point,
right?
Though. He is angry, just not as angry as he needs to be.
Yeah, so he would still be angry enough to go Super Saiyan 2.
No.
Why not?
Because that's literally what he states.
No, he states he's not
I am angry, but not like
against Cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't as angry as he was against Cell, like, when he turned Super Saiyan 2 earlier. So what do you mean?
Not necessarily.
Are you saying that he was?
Yeah, honestly, kind of, yeah. I am saying he was
Okay, so
angry.
then both of what we're saying can't be equal, like, they both can't be the same, because Goku is referencing, if he was able to do what he did against Cell, he would be, like, no one would beat him. If that's just talking about Gohan turning into Super Saiyan 2, that doesn't make sense, because Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is not unbeatable.
Get angry, Gohan. Remember when you got angry against Cell and tapped into all of your strength?
Exactly. Because when he got angry, that's when he was able to do that with his rage boost. But just simply becoming a Super Saiyan 2 wouldn't be enough to make him the strongest. Because even Super Saiyan 2 Gohan would not be stronger than him.
And also be really angry.
Exactly. So you're already making the difference between him becoming Super Saiyan 2 and him getting the rage against Cell. Because, you know, there was a difference. Because he did turn Super Saiyan 2 again in the Cell fight without needing to be angry, like without the rage boost. He still was able to do it.
What do you mean? Like when he powered up after Trunks got
to
shot?
Super Saiyan 1, right?
No, yeah, but like specifically you're referring to when he got shot, when Trunks got shot and then he turned Super Saiyan again, right? Like Super Saiyan 2.
When Trunks got shot and he turned Super Saiyan 2. I'm referencing like when he turned back into a Super Saiyan 2 to fight Cell. Like after he powered down.
Yeah, I'm saying like what happened was, right, Cell comes back, right? Shoots Trunks. Gohan's Super Saiyan at this point, right? He already powered down. So Trunks gets shot, right? And then Gohan's like, damn, Cell's back, and then he goes Super Saiyan 2. That's what you're referring to, right?
Yeah. Like he turns back into Super Saiyan 2 again, yeah.
I mean, I would argue he was still kind of mad.
Well, I'm not suggesting that he's not mad. What I'm making the difference here is the difference between Gohan can turn Super Saiyan 2 with being mad, if you want to say, but there's a different level of being mad that makes him stronger that doesn't have to do with Super Saiyan 2, which you already kind of agreed to, because earlier you wanted to argue at one point he was Super Saiyan but with rage. So you're aware of the difference between his rage enhanced hidden potential
he can
booster,
be
which you want to
angry and
say,
still not have enough of a
Super Saiyan
motivator
2.
to go Super Saiyan 2.
Right, but what I'm saying is that he can go Super Saiyan 2 and this other rage thing is different, which we've already kind of agreed upon at this point. Because you said earlier he can be Super Saiyan and still be rage. So rage is an indicator of the form.
I didn't necessarily agree he can go Super Saiyan 2 at will, though.
No, I'm not talking about that. You agreed to the concept of his rage boost or his hidden potential being separate from his transformation. Because if not, how can you be enraged in Super Saiyan 1?
I do agree that he can go Super Saiyan 2 and then get angry and get a further boost, but I'm not necessarily saying that like
so then in this case
at will without being angry or without a motivator.
Right,
At
but
least
I'm
in the
not
Buu
saying
Saga.
that you're saying that. I'm establishing that you are accepting that there is a difference between Gohan's hidden rage boosts and his transformations, which the series already kind of shows because Gohan gets angry without transforming in many instances, so they're not really the same thing, right? Like you agree with that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're like the same thing, but I would say
Okay,
that they
cool.
play a part. Like him getting angry plays a part in him getting like, for instance, like when he goes Super Saiyan 2, right? Originally in the Cell Saga, that was the result of him getting like him letting go all of his anger basically and just like letting loose. That's like what the whole 16 speech was about basically, right? Like him letting go of like holding back basically, right?
Excuse me.
That instance was him getting angry and going Super Saiyan 2. So I
Correct.
wouldn't say they're the same thing, but they play a part in each other. Like
Yeah,
they go
anger
together.
plays the part, right? That's the common thing
Yeah.
here is anger. But Gohan
Yeah.
could go Super Saiyan 2 through anger and not have his rage boost, and also have a rage boost but not be in Super Saiyan 2. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
in this
I
instance
agree with
here,
both of
when
those.
Goku says specifically, if you get as angry as you got against Cell, no one can beat you. If you try to interpret that as only saying if Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2, like that's what that means. Number one, it would just not make sense, and you'd be saying Goku doesn't know what he's talking about because Gohan simply becoming a Super Saiyan 2 would not make him unbeatable, which Goku is suggesting that it would. So that
Yeah.
would already be different. Then the other thing is it's specifically they're talking about when he got angry against Cell, not like when he got angry in the tournament or against Videl or anything. They're referencing a very
Yeah.
specific time he did it, which would be Super Saiyan 2 and the Rage Boost at the same time. And Gohan
Yes.
saying, I can get mad or I am mad, but not as mad as then,
Yeah, but
would
not
suggest
mad
that
like
he
before.
would be able to be angry enough to possibly turn Super Saiyan 2, but that wouldn't help him because the kind of power Goku suggesting is not only Super Saiyan 2 power, but the power you had against Cell, which would encompass that Rage Boost. So I don't think both of our interpretations can fit. And I think that yours is even less likely because Gohan, again, simply becoming a Super Saiyan 2 would not make him unbeatable or anything like that. He would still be
Well,
weaker than him.
I don't think mine is necessarily less likely because like you're stating that like like for one thing, right? I think Goku can be wrong, right? I think Goku can be wrong here, right?
Why
I
would
think
he be
Goku's
wrong?
statement. Why would he? I'm not saying he
Yeah.
would be. I'm saying it's possible.
What makes it possible?
I don't think Goku's infallible.
Okay, sure, but that's not an argument to say like anything's possible. But what's your like?
That's what you
know
just
what I
asked
mean?
me.
No, I understand, but like even then with that, anything is possible, sure. But like, what makes
anything's
what
possible
makes your
in my opinion.
interpretation more the case than mine? Because
All right. Well,
yeah, like,
I think it's the case that Goku can be wrong here because Goku makes several assertions during the, I guess you could say, course of the Buu Saga that turn out to either be incorrect or like over or under like estimated or understated, right? Like for example, he believes that he has the power and the capabilities to like beat Kid Buu, right? But he turns out to be incorrect about that. And this is after he fights Kid Buu for like a substantial period of time. He's
I could
like,
give you
I might
reasons
have
though
the
why
power to
that would
beat
be the
him.
case rather than here.
You said what?
Like, okay, every instance that you can give me of Goku possibly being wrong, I could give you a reason he'd be wrong in that instance and not in this one. Like that one, for example, that you just said. That wouldn't be the same as his statement here with Gohan because Goku.
Well, you were just
obviously
asking why Goku could be wrong, so I'm just
I understand
giving you
that, and I have counters for your points as to why, because they're not really, they're not indicative of his assessment here. Because it's different when you have to make a prediction based on information you don't know or make a guesstimate, like what he did against Kid Buu. Because Kid Buu, I would argue, Kid Buu never showed his full power when Goku was fighting him, so Goku's assessment of Kid Buu's strength would be inaccurate. Whereas versus with Gohan, he would have a very intimate scope of how strong Gohan becomes when his rage is infused into what he does. I mean, he's seen it since he was a kid, and he knows how strong Gohan is now. So it would just be a different situation.
I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, though. Like, I wouldn't
Which portion
necessarily
would
say
you not
Goku
agree
has an
with?
intimate knowledge of Buu Saga Gohan to the point where he just knows
No, I wouldn't
how
say
strong
I didn't say
Gohan's inner
infinite
potential
knowledge.
could be. You said what?
No, I wouldn't say infinite. This is basically what I'm saying. Goku's assessment of this would be based on the Cell fight, which Goku would know, right? So he would know how much power Gohan gets from getting his enragement.
Yeah, but he wouldn't necessarily know that Gohan he's basing this estimate of Gohan basically right off of his peak when he fought Cell. But Gohan now isn't at his peak. He's weaker than he was when he fought Cell.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the rage that he had
Goku can
before.
still be making this estimate off of a correct level of Gohan's
hold on,
power,
Corinma,
but it can still not apply to this version of Gohan.
Hold on. You're right, but he's only weaker against Cell because he doesn't have that rage that he had before. That's the only reason.
What do you mean?
This hidden potential rage that he had against Cell, which made him so strong, aside from him being in Super Saiyan 2, is the reason he's weaker, not because he doesn't have Super Saiyan 2.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, generally, in general, he's weaker in the Buu Saga than he was in the Cell Saga.
No, that's not true.
Even when he goes Super Saiyan 2 versus Kibito, Vegeta states that he's weaker.
He would be weaker because he doesn't have his rage.
But he was enraged when he went Super Saiyan 2 versus Kibito.
Yeah, but he wasn't as enraged against Cell, and I would say you're basically proving why that would be the case. Earlier you tried to argue that he was the same, but it wouldn't be because, again, going back to the statement, Goku is basing this off of his enraged boost against Cell. If it was the same in the tournament, he wouldn't be weaker than he was, but he is. And it's because of his rage boost, because he still turned Super Saiyan 2. He's physically taller and stronger than he was as a kid.
What I'm saying, right, is that Buu Saga Gohan is weaker than Cell Saga Gohan, right?
Yeah,
so he can still get that same rage boost that he got in the Cell Saga, as we see when he transforms against Kibito, but he can still be weaker than he was in the Cell Saga.
What I'm suggesting, though, is he's only weaker because he no longer has his rage amp, not any other reason.
And I get that. It's not that's not a bad interpretation to have. I just don't think it's necessarily more likely than mine.
Why wouldn't it be more likely?
I believe mine has more substantiation, within.
Yeah, what's your substantiation that it's not? It's what makes it not? Yeah, what makes it so? Curious.
Because you're basically claiming that the reason why Goku is making this statement, telling Gohan to get angry, is because he hasn't been able to tap into that rage, right?
Correct.
But I think the reason why he's making this statement is just because Gohan powered up, right? But he wasn't as powerful as he was back in the Cell Saga because of the fact that because of the fact that he's just weaker. He hasn't been training as much, he's out of his prime. Vegeta even states this when he goes Super Saiyan 2, right? I think that's more likely to be the case with that, than him just being not as angry as he was versus Cell, basically. Because I do believe he has enough of a motivator.
Right, but the issue with it being that and not what I'm saying is that Goku is saying simply if he gets as angry as he got, then no one would be able to beat him. Which the issue with that is okay, if you're trying to say he's weaker than he was in the Cell Saga, even despite the rage, he's just weaker in general, Gohan getting angry like he did against Cell shouldn't compensate and make him strong enough to do what he needs to do. Because
that's why I'm saying I think Goku can be wrong, though.
Yeah, but that doesn't prove that Goku's wrong.
I'm not proving that he's wrong. I'm just saying it's possible that he can be wrong.
Yeah, okay, but Gohan is...
Based on the evidence that I presented.
Well, you're based on your interpretation of him being weaker, which, by the way...
Yeah, based on my interpretation, I think he can be incorrect.
Yeah, but so you're basing that he could be incorrect because you think that Gohan isn't as strong as he was against the Cell games. But I countered that by saying that he's not, and he already wouldn't be because of the rage boost. If you can prove that he wouldn't be outside of that, then sure. But the rage boost.
Yeah, I'm claiming that when he went Super Saiyan 2 versus Kibito, he did have a rage boost, and he still wasn't strong enough. He still was.
Yeah, but it wasn't as much as it was against Cell, though. That's the issue.
But how can you quantify that? Though?
Well, it's already quantified.
How can you quantify that he was more angry against
that he was stronger? Two things. So first of all,
hold on. Him stating that he was stronger doesn't.
Wait, let me quantify it for you though, because we do have indicators that it obviously wasn't. So number one, when he does it, he's not as strong as he was. So that's already an indicator. Vegeta states, they all state, despite the fact that he's angry and he just turned into a Super Saiyan 2 with the rage, it's still not as strong as he was. Then later on, the reference in which he needs to get as strong as, when it's okay, you need to get as angry as you got against Cell, not in the tournament against Cell, because he was angrier then, which would accumulate to more power. So that would have to suggest that he was angrier, in the Cell fight. That's the point of reference that they're using. You need to get as angry as you got against Cell, not in the tournament, against Cell because you were stronger when you did that. It made you stronger. That anger made you
Well,
stronger.
okay. Here's the thing. First of all, right, Goku doesn't just tell Gohan to get angry. He specifically says, Gohan, remember when you got angry against Cell and tapped into all of your strength, right? And by him saying he tapped into all of his strength, I personally believe he's referring to like when Gohan used the Father-Son Kamehameha, right? And he was able to tap into all of his power at once to defeat Cell, right? That was him basically channeling all of his power at once with the guidance of Goku.
He was
right?
angry,
He's
though,
basically
in that
telling.
instance. He was angry in
what?
that instance, though. Just saying.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm saying like that was Gohan's peak. Basically, was the Father-Son Kamehameha.
I don't know if that was Gohan's
and Goku's
peak.
basically telling him to tap into that again.
I don't know if that was Gohan.
His peak at that time, he technically could have performed something better.
Well,
but he
technically
never
that wouldn't be
showcased
his
anything
peak,
higher
right?
than that.
Because he was at like half of his original power, so I don't know if that'd be his peak there.
Yeah, but he got the motivation from Goku to like draw out all of his power.
He did,
basically.
but I don't think you could quantify how strong that made him versus when he was a full-powered Rage Super Saiyan 2 earlier in the fight. I don't know if one-armed Gohan with Goku confidence and a little rage.
Well, would you agree Super Perfect Cell is stronger than like Perfect Cell?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that like an enraged Gohan firing a Super Kamehameha at Cell, like regular Perfect Cell, and not disintegrating him versus like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan like firing like a full power Father-Son Kamehameha and completely disintegrating Super Perfect Cell would be a showcase of like more power.
He could just be holding back, but Cell was also caught off guard.
No. My point is that he was holding back. That's my point.
Holding back in that specific
he was holding back when he fought Cell.
But he doesn't have to
I'm saying he hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan could have produced more power than the Father-Son Kamehameha, but we never see him show more power than that, is what I'm saying. Like, that's as much as we see him produce.
Okay,
that's as much as Goku sees
real
him
quick
do.
Before we... Okay, so that's what you're saying. Well, if you're going to say that, I mean, Goku would still know he could produce more, so he wouldn't have to see it in this case.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's specifically basing this based on what, like, he has.
He doesn't have to, though.
So him saying...
Yeah, he doesn't have to see it, though, because if you're saying that...
Like, the statement that Goku makes, right? He says, remember when you got angry against Cell and tapped into all of your strength? I think that's only referring to when he...
Yeah, that doesn't have
when
to
he used
be,
the Father-Son Kamehameha, because that's the only
be...
instance he could be referring to.
No, that's not true. He can also be referring when he literally became a Super Saiyan 2. That would have also been when that happened. Because he let go of his rage and he transformed at the same time. That doesn't have to be
But he didn't tap into all of his strength when he initially went Super Saiyan 2.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not?
I mean that it's a possibility. You're saying that he didn't, and now you have to prove that that's not possible. Why couldn't he have did that?
I mean, because of the fact that, like, for instance, right, when a character goes full power, right, like when Cell goes full power, right, like in the same fight, when Cell goes full power, everybody in the like who's spectating knows that that's Cell's full power, right? They're like, oh, this is Cell's full power.
Well, he says that he's going to, so they would be told in that instance. They were told he was going to go full power by Cell, right? So that's kind of like...
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, in that instance, then I guess that would be different. But I'm saying, like, Gohan produces more power, in my opinion, right, during the Father-Son Kamehameha than when he initially transformed into Super Saiyan 2.
Well, yeah, I get that, but there's not really, like, supporting evidence for that. It doesn't even make logical sense because he's at 50% of his power anyway.
I feel like stereotypically, like, throughout the series, characters take more of their energy producing, like, humongous beam attacks versus just transforming. Right, unless they're specifically transforming and going full power at the same time, right? Like, for instance, when Jiren's like going full power in the Tournament of Power, right? Obviously, that's him, you know, using his full power, right? But like Gohan using like the Father-Son Kamehameha would be the greatest indication or showing of his strength that we've seen, right? Because when he transforms into Super Saiyan 2, there's nothing that necessarily indicates like blatantly that would be like his full power that he's just showcasing right there. Now,
I mean,
I'm pretty sure it's stated within like guides that he might have been at his full power, but like you could argue that that's just referring to the fact that like Super Saiyan 2 was his strongest form and not necessarily that like he's using 100% of his maximum like output within Super Saiyan 2 24/7.
I mean, the thing is,
right?
he wouldn't even be able to use his 100% maximum output in the Kamehameha clash you're referencing is the thing. Because he literally is at 50% of his power, so he can't use 100% of his power, like, actually. Like, he literally can't do that.
No, like, what I'm saying, basically, right, is that Gohan was holding back, right, during the fight against Cell. And we know this because he obviously would have eviscerated Cell if he was using his full power. Because
well, there were times that he could have, but he chose not to. Holding back doesn't have to be in the sense of...
No, I'm not saying he couldn't have. I'm saying he never showcases, right, like, he never destroys Cell or, like, showcases the Cell destroying power necessarily until he uses the Father-Son Kamehameha. Because he hits him with the Super Kamehameha and Cell survives it.
Yeah, but you could argue that he survives it because its power gets reduced when Cell gets hit by it.
I mean, what do you mean by it got reduced?
Because it has to fight against the force of Cell's own attack first before it actually hits Cell. So it's not going to be hitting him at full capacity when it hits him anyway.
I mean, technically you're not wrong, but it's like I don't think that would necessarily.
And Cell was literally on the brink, and all Gohan had to do was simply, as Goku said, just finish him off. Like, I doubt he had to charge up another Kamehameha in that instance to do so. So Cell was already at that point, after being hit with a Kamehameha that wasn't Gohan's full power because it got reduced in damage, he was literally on the brink of death. And Gohan held back by not finishing him off, which is also what I'm saying, because he doesn't have to hold back in the sense of dialing my power down. There was instances he could have continued to finish off Cell while using, let's say, full power, but chose not to. Like, in that instance, that's him holding back because he's literally not attacking Cell when he should be, right? So he could have still used full power command.
I get what you mean. I would say that, like, I don't think Gohan could defeat Cell unless he used a blast of some sort, not necessarily a Kamehameha, but just because of how Cell works, unless he, like, hypothetically, like, drained him of all of his energy somehow so he just couldn't regenerate anymore. Because Cell can regenerate from a cell, you know, obviously. So, like, even if Gohan beat him down and, like, ripped off all of his limbs, technically Cell could just get back up and keep fighting if he had the energy to regenerate.
So you're helping the theory that Gohan doesn't have to be holding back his power. He could just be holding back what he does. So, like, no amount of punches Gohan would be doing, you could say, would do that to Cell, I guess, right? Because he'd have to destroy him on the subatomic level, which is like something he could probably only do via Kamehameha. So
yes,
so he would just simply be holding back off the strength of not doing that. Even if he was using 100%,
I don't
right,
necessarily disagree that interpretation is plausible, right? But I just think that, like, it's indicated during the series that, like, Gohan was basically letting loose everything that he had left in the Father-Son Kamehameha, right? Not only that, but he was getting, like, the motivation from Goku also. And we know that, like, getting, like, motivational amps from characters in the series has, like, a physical effect on the characters. We see this in, like, the Tournament of Power, for example, with, like, Goku, right? He gets, like, motivation from the characters, and he's literally able to keep fighting despite having all of his energy drained and, like, being exhausted and out of stamina, because he just gets motivation from other characters. He gets, like, courage, like, right? Like Yuki, I'm pretty sure it's called, right?
Yeah.
Which allows him to basically keep fighting, right? I would argue that in this instance, Gohan's basically, right, getting, like, a motivational, almost like a motivational amp from Goku that allows him to, like, expel all of his energy in one shot, right? And I'm not necessarily saying Gohan here is at his pinnacle of power, but I'm saying in this instance, I believe that it's plausible and even more likely, right, that in this instance, Gohan and Goku together are able to, like, produce a blast that would be more powerful than at least, like, Gohan's Super Kamehameha that he fired against Perfect Cell. I think that's, like, plausible.
Okay, even if I steel man and granted that Gohan was at his peak when he was blasting Cell, which, you know, there are other that we see. Sure. Even if I steel man that wouldn't really help the prior argument that we're having about this being not Super Saiyan 2 that Goku's referencing. Even then, when you give things like the Yuki boost and certain things that, like, it would still suggest that Goku is asking Gohan to basically tap into a power that would go beyond Super Saiyan 2 anyways. Yeah. So it's like, it would still suggest that this isn't Super Saiyan 2 that Goku's talking about when he says get angry. Like, he's talking about a stronger power than that.
Yeah, he's saying basically to go, like, like to reach the levels that he reached when he fought Cell. Basically, that's
Yeah,
what
so that
Goku's
can't
saying.
be. That's not just saying go Super Saiyan 2 because he didn't reach that when he became Super Saiyan 2 before. He couldn't, right? Because he wasn't angry enough. So this both
Yeah,
of
but
our
I never
interpretations
claimed
earlier
that
can't.
Goku was referring to only Super Saiyan 2.
Not even that he was referring to only. You suggested the possibility he could be, but it doesn't actually make sense for him to be. Is what we've basically established at this point in time. He cannot be
No,
talking
I'm
about Super Saiyan
saying
2.
like it can be the case that he's asking him to tap into Super Saiyan 2 and also to get to the level of power that he was at when he fought Cell, basically.
Yeah, but he did that without Goku needing to. Okay, I mean, I don't think so because he's literally asking him specifically to get like he got against Cell, and he already showed Super Saiyan 2 before without getting like he got against Cell. So I don't think that really
Yeah,
makes
but
sense for
like
him to be saying like.
Goku doesn't know that. Like basically, like Goku at this point, because he just this is his first time seeing Gohan in 7 years, right? So Goku
Sure.
doesn't really know that this Gohan can't get to the level that he was at when he fought Cell, right? And he doesn't like until he does like the Z sword
Well,
training,
no,
right?
he.
That's like
What
the
do you
earliest
mean? He
instance.
does know that he can't do that. Why
What do
wouldn't
you
he know that? He's seen him turn Super Saiyan 2 already and not be at that level. Why would he not know?
Yeah, but he didn't. When he goes Super Saiyan 2 versus Kibito, it's not like he was like he all he did was transform. He wasn't like going all out.
Do you have any anything to? Okay, so you're saying that he wasn't going all out. Do you have anything to provide proof of that, or to at least suggest what you're saying is the case?
I
That's
mean,
like a positive
I
claim
would
right
say
there,
that
right?
like I believe it's just as likely that he was
So he
going all
could have,
out as
right?
he wasn't going all out, right?
Okay,
But
so it's
like,
possible he could have been going all out. So then that would defeat
you
your
said what?
argument if you say that it's
You said what?
possible either way he could have been going all out or not. If that's what you're saying, then that means that it doesn't work now for your argument of saying, well, he wasn't, right? It would go back to, okay, so he went all out. It's possible he went all out. Goku would have had a way to assess him and seeing that he's not at that level, which I mean, they've been saying from the beginning to like now. And even when Goku tells him, you need to tap into how angry you were against Cell to win. And if you do, you're unbeatable. That already suggests he knows that Gohan hasn't been doing that. So, of course, he doesn't think he can't, because if he thinks that he can't, he wouldn't be telling him to do it. But he's suggesting that everything that's been seen up to this point, he doesn't have that capability. And Gohan himself admits it. Like, he knows he's not as strong as he was at that time. But that's not because he can't turn Super Saiyan 2. It would be because of his rage. So that can't be interpreted as him saying Super Saiyan 2. At least alone,
I mean,
it can't just be he means turn Super
I'm not
Saiyan 2.
I'm not
Couldn't
claiming
be
a
that.
Super Saiyan 2 alone. No, that's my thing.
Yeah, but if you're agreeing with what I'm saying, then that doesn't help you. Then.
I'm not arguing, right? That Goku's only referring to Gohan like lacking the ability to go Super Saiyan 2 here, right? From my interpretation.
I mean,
That's not what I'm arguing.
It has to be the case that it's not just Super Saiyan 2. It has to be Super Saiyan
I
2
know.
plus something else.
I
Right?
agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
I don't
And
think that
Gohan
he's
already
only
showed
referring
he
to
had the capability. Okay, but once you agree to that, then it defeats your point that Gohan can't turn Super Saiyan 2 on his own, because if that's the case, that means I'll explain it to you. So it would be right that Goku is saying Gohan needs to turn Super Saiyan 2 and tap into his hidden potential, right? Gohan already turned Super Saiyan 2 before, and this wouldn't be the level that's needed, right? Because he turned Super Saiyan 2 in the tournament.
Yeah.
So by Goku saying this is what you need to do, it suggests it's not just Super Saiyan 2, it's the potential as well. But if just turning Super Saiyan 2 is what was needed, he wouldn't have said what he said. So that suggests Gohan could do what he did in the tournament, but it wouldn't be enough. He needs to go further beyond that.
I wouldn't necessarily say that Goku's insinuating that Gohan can turn Super Saiyan 2 and it wouldn't be enough. I think that it's like more. I think it's more plausible that. You said what?
We already agreed that because he's referencing Cell, he's talking about more than Super Saiyan 2. We already agreed to that. If it was just simply turn Super Saiyan 2,
I think he's talking about Super Saiyan 2 and a further rage boost. Yes.
Right, which is something that he hasn't shown the capability of being able to do up until this point.
Yes.
Or hasn't. Not. I guess not that he couldn't, but he didn't. Right. He didn't do that. And in this case, if he's able to do that, then he'd be unbeatable, yada, yada, etc. Right?
Yeah. Goku's basically talking about a hypothetical.
Right. If you got like that. And when he did in the tournament, that wasn't that same level. But he was able to do that without the level of rage you're insisting that he would need to become a Super Saiyan 2 alone. Like, basically what I'm saying is Gohan can still get angry enough to become a Super Saiyan 2. The only difference is that he can't get angry enough to be a Super Saiyan 2 with the rage boost, which is what Goku is suggesting by saying you need to get as angry as you got against Cell. Because he can clearly still get angry and transform like he did in the tournament. So he doesn't need the Cell level sufficiently to turn Super Saiyan 2, because your argument prior was basically that right here, he's referencing Super Saiyan 2, and that basically he needs to get as angry as he got against Cell to turn into Super Saiyan 2. He needs this unquantifiable like level of anger you've established, but he's already shown a less level of that anger and still been able to turn Super Saiyan 2, which means he doesn't need to get to this level of anger.
My argument wasn't that.
Hello?
Hold on. My argument wasn't that Gohan, like, that Goku was telling him that he, like, my argument wasn't that Goku's only referring to Super Saiyan 2 here.
Okay, I know, but aside from that, the other thing that you were saying is that, like, Gohan needs to be a certain level of angry to become Super Saiyan 2, right?
And that's like your basis, the theory,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
already established he was a Super Saiyan.
Hold on, Long. This is like a 1v1. You're gonna be here.
Yeah, this is like a 1v1.
All right. I'm about to go on the other one. Yeah. I got you.
Right.
Aside from that, though, what I was saying was that you said Gohan needs a certain level of anger. This like X level of anger to
he needs a motivator
too, right? Okay, but he has the motivator here, and he says that he's angry.
No, he doesn't. He says that he doesn't have a motivator.
Okay, can you show me him saying he doesn't have the motivator?
He says, "I'm angry, but not like the last time."
Yeah, not as angry as he got against Cell, but he's still angry, so he should still be able to turn.
I wouldn't say Cell is what he's referring to when he says the last.
But he's literally bringing up Goku's quote talking about Cell, so. That's kind of
he's thinking about what. Hold on. All right, let me explain this. All right, so Gohan's thinking about what Goku said, right? And Goku said, "Get angry, Gohan. Remember when you got angry against Cell and tapped into all of your strength, right?" Gohan says, "I'm angry, but not like the last time."
And he's thinking about the time that Goku's referring to. That's why Goku's brought up in that instance.
I think that it's very possible that he's just referring to the fact that when he went Super Saiyan 2 versus Kibito, right? Or even when he went Super Saiyan 2 versus Cell, right? He was more angry then than he is now. It's not necessarily saying...
Exactly.
Oh.
That doesn't help you. But that's true. That's exactly what I'm saying. He can't get as angry as he got against Cell. That's what that's referring to.
Yeah.
And the anger that he got against Cell came with a rage boost. It wasn't just Super Saiyan 2, because he got angry earlier and was able to turn Super Saiyan 2, but still wasn't as strong. So that's what I'm trying to say. He's still angry enough to turn Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah, it's equally possible that when he's saying I'm angry but not like the last time, he's referring to Cell, and he's also referring to the fact that he can't go Super Saiyan 2. He can be referring to both.
No, it doesn't really make sense for him saying he can't go Super Saiyan 2, because not only is that not what he said, but he's specifically replying in his head to what Goku said, which was referencing Cell. So I don't think they're equally possible.
Well, because he's saying, right, remember when you got angry against Cell and tapped into all of your strength, right? He's saying that he can't tap into all of his strength like he did against Cell.
Right, which doesn't refer to Super Saiyan 2, which goes back to what we're saying right now.
I think Super Saiyan 2 would play a part in that.
You think that it would play a part? I mean, we've already established that.
Yeah, I don't think Gohan would be able to like access his full power at this point without using Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah, but he already did that, so that's already proven false.
How?
He wasn't at that level of power in the tournament, and he turned Super Saiyan 2. It's even stated he turned it at his own will. So it's like, even that is like.
Well, hold on, what do you mean?
Okay, Gohan wasn't at his full power, this Cell Saga power, whatever, when he turned it the first time. So of course he can turn it again without needing to tap into the boost from Cell, because he already was shown to be able to do that.
Yeah, but I'm saying basically, right? The statement Goku's making is telling Gohan to get angry and tap into his full power. He was angry when he went Super Saiyan 2 versus Kibito.
That's not just the statement,
but he
though.
wasn't
It's specifically against Cell. It's not just get angry and turn full power. It's get angry like you were against Cell. So
I know what I'm saying, right, is when he went Super Saiyan 2 versus Kibito, right? He was angry, but he wasn't angry enough to be like the same level of strength that he was when he fought Cell, right?
Correct.
So him stating, I'm angry, but not like the last time, can be referring to Cell and also not contradict what I'm saying.
Why would it not contradict what you're saying when that would mean that he can turn Super Saiyan 2 then without getting the anger level he needs against Cell.
I never claimed that he needed to be as angry as he was against Cell to turn Super Saiyan 2. Just
yeah,
that
he just needed to be X level of angry that you're not able to quantify, right? Well, he's angry here, so I don't see.
Yeah,
why
but
he wouldn't be
clearly,
able to.
obviously, not angry enough to go Super Saiyan 2.
That's not clear and obvious. It's just not as much as it was against Cell with that power. That's all that suggests.
I do definitely think that, like, visually, he's not drawn as Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah, but then that goes back to what we argued prior. So I guess now at a certain point we can get to conclusions. But just wanted to, establish that point right here with this. Before that, though, I want to show the statement of it just explicitly stating that Gohan can turn Super Saiyan 2 at will. So I just want to get into that real quick. Just put them up.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is the Daizenshu. It says while he still has Super Saiyan 2, both his battle sharpness and his battle senses have dulled compared to when he defeated Cell. His power is considerably weaker. So that already suggests that he can still turn Super Saiyan 2 despite anything about his what's the word? Fatigue or whatever. Not fatigue, but like basically whatever he lost in these 7 years since Cell, Super Saiyan 2 was not one of them. Suggests that he still is able to do it. He just simply lost his battle sharpness and senses since he fought it. But not that he can't turn Super Saiyan 2. It says that he can. It also says that his levels fall short of when he defeated Cell. Since not only did he not borrow the power of anger, he did quit serious training and things of that nature, which again provides back to what I said earlier about his battle sharpness. If you're not training and you're not in the field, your sharpness can dull, which will affect you in battle. However, he would still be able to turn Super Saiyan 2. All right, so
could I give a counter interpretation to that?
Sure.
All right, so I believe that the scan that you showed, right, when it says high school era Super Saiyan 2, it very clearly shows a panel of like Gohan versus Kibito, right? When he actually went Super Saiyan 2, right?
Sure.
And basically my argument, right, is that it's specifically referring to this instance when he goes Super Saiyan 2, right? When he has the motivation to go Super Saiyan 2. And I'm not claiming he necessarily doesn't have Super Saiyan 2, just that he can't go Super Saiyan 2 at will without a motivator to like encourage him to go Super Saiyan 2, basically, right? And we even see this when he's about to fight Fat Boo, when he says, I'm angry, but not like the last time.
Okay, it doesn't. Okay, so if you just keep suggesting he needs some kind of motivator, Dabura and the release of Majin Buu could simply be the motivator. And he even says himself he's angry, so that would fulfill your requirements. But even if not, it doesn't state that he needs any motivator.
You already gave a reason as to why he can have motivation and still not necessarily be angry enough to transform.
No, I said that he can transform into a Super Saiyan 2 and not be the same level against Cell. I didn't say that he can have a motivator and not transform. I never said that. But aside from that right there, even in the Daizenshu right here, there is no indication of Gohan needing these special requirements that you've laid out. Even though Gohan would have them because he already says he's angry and there is a motivator in front of him, it doesn't state that he needs any. So just want to
I don't think it necessarily needs to state that he needs it. Like, when contextually we know that he has it and he is only able to do it when he has it.
I mean, needing to get angry is a requirement for Super Saiyan outside of the mastered form for what we know anyway. So just anger being something needed for a Super Saiyan transformation is like, fine. That doesn't really help your argument in that case. Like, Goku has to get angry to go Super Saiyan 2 as well. Unless stated otherwise, it's a
no, yeah, that's fine. I'm just claiming that like he's only able to go Super Saiyan 2 when he's angry enough.
I'm aware, but it's like a unquantifiable amount of anger that you can't even quantify that you're establishing, and it's like he says he's angry, so that should be good.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily unquantifiable. Well, like I can't give you like a specific number per se, but like we see, for instance, like Videl getting beaten up and him getting, like, I guess you could say coerced by Kibito is enough of a motivator for him to transform. But, like, for instance, him being just, like, generally angry when he's about to fight Fat Boo isn't enough for him to be motivated to
by your, like, assessment, but there's no way to quantify that one would make him more angry than the other. If he says he's angry, then that should be
I wouldn't say that. I think there's definitely a way to quantify it.
You're just kind of saying, well, you know, he's more angry here than there, and that's just your assessment. So
yeah, but
like,
I think it's very like I think it's much so the case that what do you call it? Deborah, like him fighting Deborah and him about to fight Boo versus like someone that he cares about, like Videl getting brutally beaten up in front of him, right? Have different like motivators for him, like emotionally, because Gohan's an emotional character, right? And we know since the very start of the series, since he's first introduced, that his power is like dependent on his emotions, right? When he has the right emotional motivators, that's when he's at his pinnacle of power, right? And when he's what is it called? When he's with Videl, right, and seeing Videl getting beat up, that is enough of a motivator for him to be able to transform into Super Saiyan 2, right? But when he's fighting Deborah and when he's fighting Fat Boo, he's not necessarily fighting for anybody but himself, right? Whereas when he was going against Kibito, he's kind of doing it for Videl.
The thing is,
so
though, he doesn't need
motivator.
like when Videl's actually getting beat, he doesn't become a Super Saiyan 2. He only becomes it at the request of Kibito later when Videl is no longer on the scene.
No, I know he doesn't go Super Saiyan 2 like immediately.
Yeah, so saying that like he did it because of Videl isn't even really accurate. Can you prove he's motivated?
No, I would still say he's motivated by it, even though he doesn't go Super Saiyan 2.
Can you prove it?
Can I prove that?
Yeah.
Sure. Let me go back to when he's about to fight Kibito.
And while you're doing that, I'll just argue as well that, you know, this what happened to Videl and what's going to happen to a lot of people he loves will happen anyway if he doesn't do what he needs to do here. So when talking about motivation,
yeah, but I would argue it's. I would argue it's different, like potentiality versus like actually seeing something happen in front of you.
You could say it's different, but you'd have to, like, again, this is like this unquantifiable.
Like I'll give you an example, right? Like when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 against Cell, right? He sees his friends getting beat up and stuff, but that's not enough of a motivator for him to go Super Saiyan 2 until 16 actually dies, and then he gets the motivation to go Super
somebody
Saiyan 2.
Who's not even close to him. Right, so like it'd be an inconsistent, unquantifiable amount of anger you're suggesting.
That's not really
should matter more to him than Android 16.
It's an innocent life. It's an innocent life being murdered in front of him.
Okay, yeah. So that was the reason he did it that time. He became Super Saiyan 2 later of his own free will. You're gonna try.
Yeah, because I would say he became Super Saiyan 2 again against Cell because he was mad that Goku got killed because of him, basically.
Yeah, that's not really supported though, because he's not mad when that happens.
Nah, I he specifically says, "I'm glad that Cell's back now, so I can avenge my father's death." Like
he says that in the anime.
He was upset about what happened
in the manga, or just the anime.
I'm pretty sure it's stated in the manga.
I'd need the manga for that because I know that was in the anime.
Let me pull it up.
And not only,
I believe that it's.
So first, I'll need that. Even though if you do provide it, it's like. He didn't say he became a Super Saiyan 2 because he was angry at that. I mean, he was just it was obvious he was able to do it at his own volition.
Yeah, but like he doesn't have to state that he went Super Saiyan 2 because of
that would also prove that he doesn't need something to happen in that instance for him to turn Super Saiyan 2. He just simply has to think of something that will make him angry enough to do it, which he could simply be doing in this instance. So you saying that actually hurts your prior argument about this being this.
What do you?
So it would basically be like this. If you wanted to say there's this weird, unquantifiable amount of anger Gohan needs to become a Super Saiyan 2, the same way that you just said you believe that he did it because Goku died, all I have to do now is just tell you that something doesn't have to even happen in the same instance for Gohan to get angry at that instance and become Super Saiyan 2. Just the thought of something that happened already could be enough of a motivator. So over here, when he's saying that he's angry, he could simply be using Videl as the funnel cake, if you want to say that.
I don't necessarily agree with that though, based on like when we see him turn Super Saiyan 2. Like if it was as you said, right, and he only just had to like think of like something bad happening for him to go. Nah, I didn't say that.
Well, when you say that he got angry because Goku died, that's why he was able to become Super Saiyan 2. You are saying that because that didn't just happen. That happened like a while ago, and just the thought of it would be enough for him to turn. So
it's literally like a split. It's like a split second between. Hold on, look.
It's not a split.
I'll literally pull up the manga.
You can't really quantify how long that was. So.
I mean, yeah, but it wasn't like a significant amount of time that passed.
You also can't quantify that.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so tell me how you can quantify the amount of time that this happened.
All right, so like we see them teleport, right? Obviously, Cell's like right about to blow up, right? Then
yeah, how you can't quantify that amount of time, bro. Like you could say that you don't think it was long, but you have no way of actually knowing if that was 5 minutes, like 10 minutes, 2 seconds.
So how long do you think passed between
can't
what is it
quantify
called?
how long
Like,
it passed. I wouldn't make a statement on it personally because I can't prove it. But once you say that it's not that long, you have to prove it. You don't really know how.
yeah, I think that
can't
like based
quantify
on
that.
like the context of what's going on, right? Cell like he blows himself up and then he pops back up like immediately after.
I mean, you're saying that it's immediately after, but you have no way of quantifying how long it was from when Goku teleported away to when Cell teleports back there. You have no way of quantifying how long that took. You're suggesting it wasn't that long, but like you don't have a way to measure that.
I mean, I guess I could technically say that like Goku shows up at Snake Way. You know, they're flying on Snake Way. Snake Way, we know, takes like a certain amount of time to pass or whatever the fuck.
I guess a certain amount, yeah, but I don't know. Like once you start getting into that, it
Yeah,
might hurt you
and since
it
we
might
know
take
that like
longer
obviously Goku in the Cell Arc is going to be massively faster than he was in the Saiyan Saga, then like obviously them being on Snake Way at this point is going to mean that like a short amount of time has passed.
Okay, so here's the thing. So here's my thing, right? The problem is it can't be exactly quantified. So even if you say short could be 3 seconds. It also could be 5 minutes, right? And the issue with that, with your previous argument, is you could basically say 5 minutes or some amount of time can pass, right? Like that, for example.
Under an hour.
Well, you can't say that it didn't take an hour because you can't quantify it.
I can.
Okay, prove that it wasn't.
I think it takes less than an hour for Cell Saga Goku to like get to Snake Way.
Yeah, prove it. No, not to get to Snake Way. I mean, he doesn't have to be moving at any fast speeds to do that, though.
That's what I'm claiming.
Yeah, but it's a claim that you can't support because you have to prove Goku will be moving at whatever speed you're trying to say he should be moving to get to whatever level of Snake Way you're saying he should be for whatever reason you're going to argue he did. It doesn't really make sense. You can't quantify the time.
What do you mean? Like I have to specifically give you like...
There's no way to quantify the time. If you're trying to say it was under an hour, you'd have no way to prove that.
I'm asking like what would you want me to do to prove it to you?
I wouldn't want you to prove it to me. I would just say you can't quantify it and we'd have to move to a different argument. Like you basically can't say it was X amount of time because you can't quantify how long.
Why can't I say it's X amount of time though?
Because you can't quantify it.
I'm asking why I can't quantify it.
I mean, you literally can't. How can you?
I'm asking you for like
I'm telling you can't. It's like trying to say the Kid Buu fight lasted 10 minutes. Like, how can you say that? You can't say that.
Look, let me give an analogy to explain to you what I'm trying to do, right? Imagine you were telling me that like apples are green, right? And I'm like, apples can be red, green, and orange, and it's like you can't quantify that. And it's like I would ask you what would be the justification.
I would say that's a bit disanalogous since right here we're talking about time and a number rather than like a color.
I'm just talking about like an abstract concept. That's why I'm giving you an analogy.
Yeah, but I think it's disanalogous because it's not referencing. It's not like we're talking about time and numbers.
I mean, if you want, I can give you a different analogy that's like in reference to time.
I think it would make more sense. Or at least something that can be quantified.
I don't think it makes more or less sense because I wasn't talking about time specifically. I was just bringing about like the concept like broadly.
Okay, can you reiterate what it was again?
What would be the qualifications for me to prove this thing to you? Generally,
if you're going to prove something, you have to be able to prove it. You're asking me what would it be? I would say that you can't prove it. That's what I can
have whatever proof I want. If it's not evidence for you, then it wouldn't matter.
It's not about for me though. You can't prove it in general, like logically speaking.
I'm asking you why I can't prove it in general.
Okay, because you don't have enough information, basically. Like you cannot make the conclusion. Like again, that's like saying
I'm saying the information, right? Which is that like obviously they're in the middle of a heated battle, right? Obviously Goku has a certain amount of time that he needs to take to get to Snake Way as well as King Kai, right? Based on what we've seen in the series, right?
A certain amount of time,
yes.
Sure.
Okay. Like under an hour. Yeah.
No, you can't say under an hour though. Under an hour to do what?
How though? How can you not say it takes him under an hour to get to Snake
Way? The only thing I could agree with you with Goku and Snake Way is that maybe Goku can clear Snake Way in under an hour. But that doesn't have to be what's happening here. Goku's not racing to get across Snake Way. He's not even like, you'd have to make crazy arguments. Like he's flying as fast as he can or he's flying at X speed that you can't even quantify. Like, what do you mean? He's just cruising.
I feel like we're kind of getting sidetracked, right? My point is that it's obviously a how would I say this? It's obviously a short amount of time, as in like it's under a day, right? It under a day until Cell appears again.
Yeah,
right?
I could
Everybody's
possibly
in the
grant you
exact
that,
same
yeah.
position. Excuse me. Everybody's in the exact same position that they were, right? Once Cell disappeared,
Well,
right
they're
before
not in
Cell
the
appears
exact
again.
same position, but I get what you're trying to say. Like they didn't move a great
Yeah,
distance or
they
something.
haven't moved very much
Though of course
from
they
where
could
they're
have
at.
been, you know, shocked and stayed still in that same position for 10 minutes. That's still also a possibility.
Why would they be? That doesn't make sense.
No, it does make sense. You could be very shocked at what just happened. They've done it many times where they're standing
Not really.
there.
Like Goku, for instance, when Goku died in the Saiyan saga, they literally just stood there for like a couple and then just took off.
Well, I don't know about
Like,
a couple. You'd have to be able to quantify that also. But my whole point to you
yeah,
is that they could be
saying it
doing
was
that,
less
so.
than a day. Right?
I can agree
They
to
stood
that.
there for less
I could
than a
say
day.
it was less than a day. Sure, that wouldn't help your argument though. Because what happened
How?
between? Because first off, you could argue the entire Buu saga only happened in a couple of days. Number one, right? Number two.
Oh man, yeah.
Like the thing that just happened with Videl would have only happened like it's still within the same day. All of these events.
No, yeah, I
like,
agree, right?
You don't even know how long it was from the tournament till now, because we're talking about high light speed beams and stuff like that, right? So you realize at the time it could have been from the tournament to here would still be a reasonable time for Gohan to remember something that made him angry and make him angry again, right? Like, you know, that's still a possibility.
But my whole claim in the first place is that I don't think him remembering something necessarily is what gives him the motivation to transform. It's the actual, like, for instance, right, when he goes Super Saiyan 2, like the first time, right, it's not because he's thinking about what's going to happen to his friends, right? Because he was already doing that and wasn't able to transform, right? He already tried and wasn't able to transform. It's specifically when 16 gives him the speech and then he's unalived in front of him that he's able to get the motivation to transform, right? Now, in the instance we're bringing up here, right, of Goku disappearing, right, it's a very short amount of time that passes. Now, we can't necessarily quantify that, as you've already established, right? But it's obviously not a very long amount of time because they're all literally standing in the exact same positions, like almost verbatim, right? Prior to when like Cell shows up, right?
Well,
they're all basically
they're
talking.
not, but I get what you mean. They didn't move from the wasteland, but they're not in the exact same positions. Not at all, actually.
I don't mean like literally exactly the same.
Like they're in the wasteland. Like I got you with that. They're in the wasteland.
Like
I got that. Yeah.
They haven't moved very much from where they're at. Like they're just starting to pick their shit up and like move when Cell appears again. So a very short amount of time passed between Cell blowing himself up and Cell reappearing, obviously,
so, okay,
because like.
But to speed right to get to your argument, if you're trying to say something needs to happen in an instant for Gohan to, not just the thought of, then it wouldn't even explain how he became a Super Saiyan 2 in the tournament anyway, because that thing with Videl didn't just happen. It happened a while ago, and he's still in your lot. Like, you believe that Videl's the reason he turned to a Super Saiyan 2 there, but that wouldn't have been something that just happened. It would have been something that happened a while ago.
Videl's not the only factor, but she's like the main factor, and I'm saying that like
that she's the main factor though. Like, we're still trying to get to that.
Look, hold on. Like, before I even get to that, right? Like, we're talking about like Gohan remembering like what happened, right?
Yeah.
Like the difference between like these instances and what you're trying to imply for like, let's say Gohan using Super Saiyan 2 when he fires the Kamehameha against Buu, right? Like when he's trying to destroy the capsule, right?
Okay.
The difference between that and like these instances is Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2 is happening like immediately after. I mean, like the events that are taking place.
It's not immediately right? Like after in the tournament, though.
Well, against like when Videl. What do you mean?
He didn't immediately turn Super Saiyan 2 after in the tournament, so that wouldn't even follow what you're saying. It was a while after. And he didn't even turn Super Saiyan 2 in the moment when Videl was getting beat up. It wasn't until later on when he was requested to basically use his full power. That
let me explain, right? So when he goes Super Saiyan 2, right, when Cell shows back up again, right? A long time. It hasn't been a long time, right? It's been a very short amount of time.
I don't know how long it's been. Let's just get past the time portion, because again, you can't really quantify.
Well, we're arguing about memory, so I feel like we can't really.
Well, you're saying that
you can't really get past that point, because you're arguing basically, right, that like, oh, Gohan can still be motivated by what happened to Videl to transform into Super Saiyan 2 versus Buu. I'm arguing he can't, because it's been like that. That's not a motivator for him anymore,
well, hold on.
Right?
If you say that he can't, Then now what you're going to actually have to do is, if you say that, you need to establish how long something needs to happen before Gohan doesn't consider it a motivator anymore. You'd have to now establish something like that.
I think
which is another unquantifiable thing to do.
Yeah, as is displayed within the series, right? Like Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2 versus Cell when 16 is killed, or him turning Super Saiyan 2 again when Goku like passes away and stuff. Those
he doesn't do it when Goku passes away. Just saying. He does it after. That would be
He's in Super Saiyan 2 when Goku passes away, then he reverts to Super Saiyan, Cell shows back up, and he immediately goes back into Super Saiyan 2.
He goes back into Super Saiyan 2 after Cell kills Trunks and has a proclamation. It's not immediately after.
Hold on, let me pull this shit back up again. Like, do you mean like he lets Cell talk and then he transforms?
What I mean is he doesn't transform immediately. There is still time that passes before that. Like, Cell doesn't immediately show up on the planet and then he just becomes Super Saiyan 2. Like, there is time that passes. Goku's already dead. It's established he's dead already, and he's able to once again. And I'm steel manning it. I don't really believe this. I'm just saying, if you're saying that Goku was the reason or whatever you want to say, okay, it just sets the framework for something doesn't have to happen in the same instance for Gohan to go Super Saiyan 2. As long as he's aware of the event, he can use it as a motivational trigger. Same way.
Yeah, I don't think it necessarily has to happen in the same instance. That's not what I was claiming. So then, I just think. It's
probably
I just think that like Gohan needs to be like aware of it, right? Like it needs to be something that's like present in his mind. Whereas like I don't think he was thinking about Videl when he was fighting.
He could have been.
He could have been thinking about Videl when he was fighting Fat Boo.
Not when he was fighting Fat Boo. To become a Super Saiyan 2 in here and align with your logic, he could have been thinking about not even just Videl. A motivator that would be strong enough for him to do it. Like he wouldn't be unable to do it in this instance, given that logic. All he needs to do is just recall
Is it possible? Yes, but I don't think it's more likely.
I mean, I don't know how you can establish the likelihood of it, but you go for it.
The likelihood of...
Because if you say it's not more likely, then you need to establish why it's not so. If you think that it's possible, then it's equal interpretation. Like if you say, okay, what you just said isn't likely.
But like, what do you want me to establish the likelihood of specifically?
Specifically, what you're saying isn't more likely. So you need to establish the likelihood of the opposite.
That's not like, hold on, like what specifically did I say wasn't more likely that you want me to establish is likely?
Well, I mean, you don't know. You just said it. Like, what do you mean?
I'm asking you.
Okay, if you're saying that it's less likely he's thinking of a motivator to make him able to be using Super Saiyan 2, what is the likelihood that he's not doing that? What's like... You know, what would make it more likely he's not doing that?
Well, he literally states, I'm pretty sure, that he's angry, but not like the last time, and you already agreed that
referencing
like
Cell. And he wasn't as angry as he was against Cell when he turned Super Saiyan 2 in the tournament already, so that wouldn't help you. That means he could still be
he was angry. He was angry enough to what is it called? When he transformed into Super... Actually, hold on. Not even that, I would say, necessarily. Because, like, for one thing, right? Goku's hypothetical, like, statement that he brings up, right? Of, like, oh, if you were to tap into that power that you had when you fought, like, Cell, basically, right? You'd be unbeatable, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that statement is true for one reason, right?
Sure.
Do you agree that like Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Majin Vegeta are going to be stronger than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan from the Cell arc? Like just in general.
I don't know.
You don't know? All right. No, let me
I'm not sure.
Pull up.
Especially since Majin Vegeta is compared to Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's level in the Cell games directly.
All right. Let me pull this up then because Goku and Vegeta basically state that when they turn Super Saiyan 2, right? That they've basically surpassed Gohan's. That they've basically surpassed Gohan's level from the Cell arc, is what they say.
Vegeta says it, but how is that relevant?
Yeah, but Goku doesn't disagree with this.
Sure, but that doesn't like okay. How's that relevant to the argument? If they are or not.
I think if Vegeta makes a statement about Goku's power and Goku doesn't disagree with it, then I would take that statement to be more plausible than
sure, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying, what does that have to do with the previous statement? Because he's not like what does that have to do with what Goku said to Gohan? Because he's referring to his rage power, as we already mentioned. So why would that be relevant here? Gohan getting as angry as he got before would make him stronger now than like when he.
I'm saying that like Goku, right? He makes that statement assuming that Gohan has like a bunch more power that he can tap into if he gets angrier.
Right, he should, because this is 7 years later. His potential would only rise.
But that doesn't necessarily mean he does. Right?
I
because
guess
it's
it
already
doesn't have
established.
to, but if you're talking about Goku's assessment, Goku would be. Look.
This is why I'm bringing it up. This is why I'm bringing it up. When Goku goes Super Saiyan 2, right? Vegeta specifically states impressive, even stronger than Gohan was when he was at his max.
That's not really relevant to the argument, because Gohan would be stronger now if he got the same rage boost he got during the Cell arc. If he got it now, he would be stronger, not the same level of strength. So even so,
he's weaker now than he was when he fought Cell.
He's only weaker because he doesn't have the rage.
He's generally just weaker. Like
That's
he's
not
weaker
true.
in his base form. Yeah, it is.
Where is it stated that he's weaker in his base form? Because I have statements to say that he's exactly the same level. So where's your statements for base form?
Are you referring to like what is it called? The super exciting guide?
Referring to the Daizenshuu.
Which Daizenshuu?
Daizenshuu 7?
It's stated in Daizenshuu 7 he's the same strength in his base form.
Yeah, you want to see it?
Sure.
Okay.
But yeah, hold on. Basically, right, just to explain what, like, the reason why I'm bringing this up, Goku states that, like, if Goku got the rage amp that he got if Gohan got the rage amp that he got when he fought Cell, basically he would be unbeatable, right? As is what Goku's saying.
Which is consistent in the story.
Yeah, but I think Fat Boo would beat Gohan with a rage boost.
You can think that, but that doesn't mean that what Goku's saying is wrong because you think that. That doesn't make it like not the case, though.
Yeah, but I think Majin Vegeta is stronger than Gohan was at his maximum, and he lost to Fat Boo.
You also can think that, but that doesn't. Well, okay. Well, first of all, Goku is saying if Gohan right now got as angry as he got against Cell, no one would be able to beat him. He's not saying that.
Yeah, but
Gohan
isn't he the same strength that he was at the Cell arc?
Yeah, but his potential is obviously higher.
So why?
Yeah.
In the aspect of like his rage boost, I wouldn't necessarily say that. No.
Well, it's literally shown because he gets his potential unlocked and he's much stronger. So he obviously
but that him getting his potential
also,
unlocked
he would have more potential 7 years later. Like,
hold on, him getting his potential unlocked is like way more powerful than he was when he fought Cell, though.
Well, yeah, because he has more potential, and that's what I'm suggesting that Goku's talking about. If right now you let your potential out,
but like when he gets his power unlocked, Goku literally states that like this power is greater than anything he ever imagined. Obviously, his imagination would be indicative of like what he was estimating Gohan's power would be.
I would need to see that specific
Alright,
statement.
sure, I got you.
And even so, it doesn't really counter anything. It would just mean that he gets stronger than even the strength that Goku thought, but that doesn't mean that if anything, it's just more consistent.
What you're saying is that his power in Ultimate is the power that Goku is referring to.
No. What I'm saying is that Gohan becoming Ultimate, having his potential unlocked, and him becoming the strongest is consistent with Goku's theory about if Gohan were to unlock his potential now, he would be much stronger. Just because Goku
that's not what Goku's saying. Goku's not saying if he unlocked his potential now.
Well, he's referring to his potential though.
No, he's not.
Well, he is because you already agreed. He's talking
about. He's saying if Gohan got angry and unleashed all his power.
Yeah, that's where his potential comes from. Like he gets hidden potential boost from his rage. His rage allows him to tap into his potential. So he is talking about his potential there. He would be. So you saying that Goku saying, "Oh well, you're even stronger than I imagined," that wouldn't counter anything because all that means is that Goku underestimated how much more strong Gohan could have got. That doesn't mean that at that time, if Gohan would have had a rage, he still wouldn't have been the strongest then. Because Ultimate Gohan's way stronger than everybody when he comes out. He's not just a little bit of the strongest; he is the strongest. So that doesn't really count.
Let me word it like this, right? You're claiming that basically Goku, when he's talking about Gohan tapping into his power, right? He's saying, what is it called? Get angry. Remember when you got angry against Cell and tapped into all of your strength, right? You're basically claiming that Gohan, by doing this, would like Goku's basically estimating that this level that Gohan would be at, he would be unbeatable, right? And your evidence for this is Gohan getting his potential unlocked and becoming ultimate. I'm saying
that's not the evidence.
Right?
I was just
Gohan being.
Well, wait. That's not the evidence though. That plays into it, but that wouldn't even be my main stance. I mean, first, that would show that obviously Gohan has way more potential now, and obviously what Goku said is just consistent because it becomes correct. But Goku has already been able to he's already assessed Gohan's rage boost potential. This is the same assessment he made during the fight with Cell, which he was correct in, by the way. And it only grows even as he stated. Over time, as Gohan has gone through life, his rage and boost potential has grown over the years. Like, it's not the same.
I would argue it was different versus Cell than it is in this instance.
You can argue that there's not. Wait, what do you mean in this instance? You mean when he did it?
Like, I would argue that the assessment that Goku was making of Gohan, like when he was about to fight Cell, right? Basically his plan with Gohan was for Gohan to power up and basically break through the Super Saiyan limit, right?
I mean, that was his rage. It was indicative of his rage.
Yeah,
being forced
it was Gohan getting
angry
and then tapping into like surpassing the Super Saiyan limit basically and being able to
exactly through his anger, because his anger gives him potential breaking feats, which is why he was even able to become a Super Saiyan 2, because his anger made him strong enough at that time to pass that wall. So,
I'm saying, right?
That's
Goku's statement. Yeah, Goku's statement of like Gohan getting angry, right? He's already angry, right, when he's about to fight Buu, but he's just not angry enough to get motivated enough to draw out whatever power Goku's looking for, right? And we already know that, like, for instance, Vegeta and Goku in Super Saiyan 2 are stronger than Gohan when he was at his maximum as a kid, right? And while he may have more potential now that he's older, right? That doesn't necessarily mean he can tap into it, right? Until he gets his potential unlocked.
Not being able to do it has nothing to do with Goku's assessment, because Goku's saying if he were to do that, he would be the strongest, which is what happens when he gets to a certain level of anger. So even that doesn't counter what I'm saying. Even if Gohan's unable to actually do it in real life, that doesn't mean Goku's assessment of if he did is wrong. It's not what that means.
I mean, I guess in that aspect, right? Like,
because hear me out, right? Hear me out for a second. This is what the logical basis of it would be. Like, this instance of Goku saying this isn't different than what he said against Cell. Goku has been watching Gohan's rage boost over the years and see how strong that he gets when he gets into these angry states. And he also mentioned that it grew over time, which is why he knew that this time, if he got angry at this point in time, as strong as he is and everything, right? The rage boost this time would have been strong enough to beat Cell. And Goku was right on that without even knowing Cell's full power. And he was still correct, right?
Well, yeah.
Right?
You're not wrong in that instance. Yeah,
right.
But
so
I
the
think,
logic
like,
here, well, hold on. Let me just land the plane. Like, the logic here, his rage and his potential would have grew exponentially 7 years later. And Goku knows this. It's even actually stated in guides that his potential is even more amazing than Goku and everything right now in the Buu Saga, before Ultimate Gohan or anything.
Well, yeah, it's always been, right? He's always had more potential.
And he unlocks his potential through his rage. So Goku's assessment of, if you were to get as angry as you got before when you were a kid, right now, as like, well, he's not an adult, but like, you know, he's much more mature 7 years later. Right now, it would be enough to make you the strongest, and that's true. There's nothing that contradicts it. It's the same assessment he made against Cell, and I'd say it would be true.
Look, my thing is,
and it's more than Goku who believes this, by the way. This is why they invest to use the Z Sword for him in the first place and unlock his potential, because even the gods are able to see the potential of Gohan. Like,
wait, hold on. So I was gonna, what did you say about the Z Sword? Because I was gonna bring that up.
I was saying that Goku's not the only one who believed that. So it's not just based on just Goku. Even though Goku has a good assessment of it, it's not just Goku. It's even the gods who believe the same thing.
Well, yeah, but that's because Gohan, like, I can agree with the fact that Gohan has more potential than, like, anybody else at that point in the series, right? Because he does. He's literally stronger as a 4-year-old than, like, anybody else.
Anger.
Yeah. And I think, right, like, the way that I would explain it is that, like, I don't think Gohan was able to reach the ultimate level of power, right? Like, when he gets the ultimate form, until he did the Z-Sword training. I think the Z-Sword training made him much stronger, right?
Okay.
And it unlocked more of his potential, right?
I'm not sure if
you could argue the same thing for, like, Trunks.
I'm not sure if it did that, but that's fine, because that doesn't really go against what I'm saying, because you can still say Ultimate Gohan is stronger than this hypothetical angry Gohan that Goku is talking about, and it doesn't have to mean Gohan still wouldn't be the strongest if he was that hypothetical level of angry, because Ultimate Gohan is way stronger than everyone rather than just being stronger. So Goku's assessment can still be correct. It doesn't have to be Ultimate Gohan level necessarily for him to be the strongest, to be fair.
My thing is that, like, Goku's statement, right? It's implied that Goku's statement is like he's, because when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 in the World Tournament, right? It's stated verbatim by like Vegeta, right? That he's not nearly as strong as he was when he fought Cell, right? Like, he's way weaker than he was when he fought Cell in Super Saiyan 2 at that instance, right? Now, you can argue that that's because he's like, he has less of an anger motivator, right? Which I wouldn't necessarily agree with, but even if you wanted to take that stance, right? I would argue that, like, I think it can be the case that, like, Gohan just didn't, like, he wasn't able to tap into enough power prior to the Z-Sword training to, like, be able to beat Buu, right? Because it's implied that, like, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Goku are stronger than Gohan's peak was.
Okay, but Gohan's peak then isn't what we're referencing now. What I'm trying to establish to you is that Gohan would be stronger now if he got the rage boost.
Now that you're referencing is, like, I wouldn't say it's necessarily baseless, but, like, there's almost no basis.
Well, first of all, the potential is there if he trains or not. Like, him training with the Z-Sword didn't give him more potential. That's not really how that works. Like, the potential is there, and it's just about unlocking it. So he'd have the same potential in that fight that he has throughout the entire saga.
Like, I wouldn't necessarily
doesn't grow
say
somebody's potential unless you can substantiate that. That doesn't even make sense.
I mean, I do think it's possible that, like, training can, like, for instance, like, give Saiyans or, like, characters in general
by training.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, like, you can have more limits to, like you can unlock further levels of power.
I don't know about that, but even if that's the case, once again, I'm not saying this has to be Ultimate Gohan levels of potential. It doesn't have to be for what I'm saying to be correct. He doesn't have to be.
No, yeah, like, basically what I'm saying is I think Goku's hypothetical estimate of however strong Gohan would still be weaker than Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. At that point,
it wouldn't really make sense for him to say that if he's saying that he would be the strongest. He would be encompassing himself.
I just think, I'm arguing that Goku's incorrect, basically.
I know, but it's kind of circular because you're just saying he's incorrect because what again? Because it's possible he's incorrect. That's not really arguing.
No, I'm arguing that he's incorrect because I believe Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta is stronger than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan hypothetically would be with a rage boost.
Yeah, but there's nothing that substantiates that.
When Goku makes the statement, right, I believe he's referring to, like, Gohan reaching the peaks that he was at back in the Cell arc, right? You could argue he would be stronger because he has more potential now, but he hasn't reached that level of power since the Cell arc, and that's what Goku's referring to. And I'm saying the reason why Gohan still wouldn't be unbeatable
hold on.
is because Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta is stronger.
Hold on. So what I'm saying, though, is Gohan would be stronger now if he did that. So we're not talking about a Cell Games Gohan versus a Majin Vegeta. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a Buu Saga raged Gohan versus Vegeta. Why would he be stronger? Again, because he has more potential, and the rage is what draws out Gohan's potential. Like, if you have more potential now and you get angry versus before, it's the same reason why his rage boost was stronger against Cell than, like, against Frieza or Raditz. Like, it's the same reason, because he's stronger now. That's the whole point. Right?
Wait, hold on, could you post that? I believe you said you were going to post, like, a panel from Daizenshu 7 for,
you wanted to, one second.
Yeah.
Kind of got lost in there.
Because I was gonna mention the fact that I don't think Gohan is.
Yeah, I got you. One second.
What do you call it? The same level of strength. I believe he got.
There's actually a couple statements, so I'll send you Daizenshu and then everything else that supports that as well.
Alright.
But we'll start with that one first. After we finish this point as well, I guess we might as well conclude and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say we might as well.
So let
Wrap
me
it up.
1 sec. Okay, so right here, many years after a battle with Cell, Gohan became a high school student due to either Chidi's influence or him neglecting his training. His strength hadn't changed since he was a boy. So that I'll get some others.
Yeah, to address that one, right? I think it's not. I wouldn't necessarily say a more likely interpretation, but an equal interpretation that when it says his strength hadn't changed since he was a boy, it means he hasn't gotten stronger since he was a kid.
Wait, what? So his strength hasn't changed. That means he didn't get stronger.
Yes.
That would still put him at the same level, though, right? And that doesn't even make sense, right? Because it didn't change, so it can't get stronger or weaker. That would be change, right? So it can't actually be that. That cannot be the case. Either of which, going down or up, would be indicative of change, which is saying it didn't, and it's still consistent. So,
I mean, I would argue that, like, when it says that his strength hasn't changed, it doesn't mean that it literally hasn't undergone, like, any difference whatsoever, right?
That's pretty much
because
what it's saying,
obviously, technically, his strength did change from when he was a little kid, right? Because he's not as good at, like,
that doesn't
using
mean
Super
his
Saiyan.
strength changing, though. He's not good because his battle senses have dulled. It's kind of like a fighter who's rusty. You might can punch with the same strength, but you might not fight the same way.
At least in the Dragon Ball verse, like, has the effect of weakening you also. Like, you get weaker. Not massively, but, like, it plays a part
even
in
if
it.
I granted that, they just simply don't have to be speaking about what you're talking about. Like, for example, if you're in a fight...
I'm not saying they have to. I'm just saying I think it's equally possible that they could be referring to the fact that, like, when it says his strength hasn't changed, it's saying that, like, he hasn't gone any stronger than he was.
Yeah, but that doesn't even make sense because if he didn't... Okay, he didn't get stronger. Okay, sure, yeah. He didn't get stronger in terms of, like, what they're referencing, but that's not what I'm referring to. Like, his strength, yeah. He's the same strength that he was, but I'm talking about his potential, which has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but them saying that his strength hadn't changed, him being, like, basically, right? I'm arguing that, like, I believe when they say his strength hasn't changed, that it means he specifically hasn't gotten stronger than he was since he was a kid, right? You're arguing that when it says his strength hasn't changed, it's saying it hasn't changed, period, right? But
I mean, I'm
arguing
agreeing with what you're
also
saying. It just helps me, though. Like, yeah, he did, because you were trying to say earlier that he was weaker than he was just plain and simple, but he's not. He stated to be the same strength that he was when he was a child. The problem is that he plateaued. He never got stronger or weaker. Correct. He stayed the same, which he wasn't supposed to.
I don't think it's necessarily the case, though, that, like, he flat out is just the same strength, because when he goes Super Saiyan 2 against Kibito, it's like he's not even close to the level he was at when he fought.
Yeah, but we already established that that's because he doesn't have the rage for that.
Slacked off on his training.
Yeah, but we've already established the rage was the reason. So, what do you mean? Like, yeah, it all is still consistent. He can still be the same strength and not be as strong as when he fought Cell, because when he fought Cell, it's not just about how strong he was physically. It was his emotional, his rage boost, his potential.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying that it can't be the case that, like, when Vegeta's making this statement that, like, anger doesn't play a part in it, but I also just think he's weaker. Like,
yeah, but
just generally
stated that he's not, so that'd be your assumption.
Yeah, but I already argued for an equal interpretation.
Okay, I wouldn't say what you said is equal. You gave a possibility that's less parsimonious that I don't even necessarily agree with. And the point is that he stated to be, and I'm giving you a consistency to why this statement can go. If you're trying to say it's possible this statement means something else, maybe we could go with that, but he stated to have not changed in strength. So
I'm saying when it says his strength hasn't changed, I'm not, like, you're taking when it says his strength hasn't changed since he was a boy, you're taking it literally, like he's literally the exact same strength. I'm saying, right, when it says his strength hasn't changed, it just means he hasn't gotten stronger since he was a kid. But he can still be weaker than he was.
Yeah, he can't, though, because that would involve change. That's not possible. That wouldn't be that's not an equal interpretation.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you're arguing that by him having not changed, it means it literally. I'm saying it doesn't mean it literally, and by saying
I know you're saying that
changed,
it doesn't, but you're not giving an equal interpretation for why that. You're just saying it's not, because for you to say he got weaker that would not be an equal interpretation of the statement. That would be you disregarding the statement, because if his strength hadn't changed, it can't get weaker. That would be inducive of change. So again, it's not an equal interpretation. You're just saying
I'm not saying the statement is confirming he got weaker. I'm just saying the statement is specifically referring to the fact he didn't get stronger. That's my interpretation.
You're suggesting he could have got weaker, but that goes against the statement. That's not an equal interpretation, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but my suggestion, right, of Gohan having gotten weaker isn't tied to that statement, right? I'm saying he didn't get stronger, right, because of that statement. I'm saying that's my interpretation of that.
Well, I didn't say that he got stronger because of the statement. You were saying earlier you wanted me to bring up what was stated that Gohan basically didn't get weaker, and I was showing you.
Because your interpretation, right? What you're arguing the statement means, right, is that his strength hadn't changed since he was a boy, meaning his strength is exactly the same, right? I'm arguing, right, his strength hadn't changed since he was a boy, meaning he didn't get stronger. And then on top of that, I'm also arguing since he didn't get stronger, right, you can argue that he got weaker because of the statements that are implied.
Okay, not this statement though, right? Because you were saying earlier it was equal.
No, not that one. So I'm not saying he's weaker because of that statement.
Okay, so you're saying that. So you're agreeing that what you're saying isn't an equal interpretation of this statement. You're just saying that you believe this to be true, and these are the reasons why. Right?
How is what I said not an equal interpretation?
Okay, because
me saying he didn't get stronger.
It's not that. It's you saying he got weaker.
That's what I said my interpretation was.
Right, but that wouldn't be an equal interpretation to this specific statement. That would just be your interpretation of, I guess, like the. Because the statement is that Gohan didn't change. So you saying that he got weaker, that's not an equal interpretation to him not changing.
I'm not saying him getting weaker is part of my interpretation of that statement, though. That's not what I'm saying.
I just asked you if it was. No. I didn't ask you if that was your interpretation.
Your interpretation. Hold on, right? Your interpretation is that you're saying his strength hadn't changed whatsoever since he was a boy. He's exactly the same.
My interpretation.
Right?
That's just what's stated.
Yeah, but I'm saying you're taking it literally, right? That's your interpretation.
What other way could it make sense for his strength to not change? And it's not that he.
Yeah, and I already explained my interpretation, right? Is that when it says his strength hadn't changed, it means he hasn't gotten more powerful.
Okay, okay, that's fine. It's when you say he got weaker is when it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but me saying he got weaker isn't tied to that statement.
That's why I asked you. You're not your equal interpretation of saying he didn't get stronger is fine. I'm not using the statement to say he got stronger. So you wouldn't be neglecting this statement in any way. You didn't, and your quote unquote equal interpretation is basically what I'm saying. We're both agreeing. So it's not like it's not an opposite.
Yeah, but like the difference between you saying his strength hadn't changed whatsoever and me saying he hasn't gotten stronger is that I can still make the argument that he got weaker.
You can't though, because it's stated that he didn't change. So that would be.
Yeah, but I'm already arguing on the interpretation aspect of that though.
Yeah,
you're
but
taking it literally.
That's not an interpretation you can have, because
how
that would be indicative of change. If you get weaker, you're changing.
Yeah, so but I also think if he became less skilled and less strong as a fighter, then his strength.
It never said he got less strong as a fighter, and skill isn't indicative of strength. That's why my interpretation makes the most sense, because they're talking about his power output, not his skill. Like, he can still punch at the same strength, but his skill.
In Dragon Ball, at least, I do think skill plays a factor in how strong you are, though.
It plays a factor in how you perform in a fight, but I don't know about how strong you are.
Like for instance, key control, right? Like the better key control you have, the stronger your key is.
Okay, what's that have to do with skill though? We're not talking about his skill in using ki. Never said that he had any like, there's nothing about that. Fighting senses and battle tactics.
I think if he's less skilled as a fighter, it would play a factor in all of those things.
Not necessarily though. Doesn't have to. Being a fighter and using your ki are two different things. Like him.
I don't think it has to. I just think it's possible.
Yeah, but if you're gonna make like a statement like this is what it is, like positively claiming, then when you bring up a possibility, it doesn't really help you. Like, you have to stand on what you're saying that it does mean, right? Like, okay.
I didn't say it had to be any sort of thing. I was just given like a possibility the whole time.
Okay, but that still wouldn't mean that Gohan isn't as strong. It would just mean he can't use something correctly. He would still be the same strength, though.
I didn't say it had to be. I just said it was possible.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not possible, though, basically. Like, even if you can't...
But why, though? Why isn't it going to be possible?
Because your strength isn't indicative of your skill. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not.
I'm not saying your strength is indicative of your skill, but I think your skill plays a factor in how strong you are.
Well, then you're saying then you are saying that, then.
Not necessarily. No, I'm not saying that like your skill level is your strength level, but I'm saying your skill level plays a factor in how strong you end up being.
Sure, but and I'm saying no, it doesn't. Because Goten is nowhere near as skilled as Gohan, and they're fighting on equal terms and stated to be equals as well. So no, that doesn't matter at all.
I mean, I wouldn't say...
Unless you're suggesting that Gohan now is on the same skill level as, 7-year-old, I only train with Chi-Chi Goten, unless you're saying that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't necessarily say they're that far apart in skill. Like, obviously, I think Gohan is a little bit better. I mean,
that's kind of crazy,
but
I
don't think he's that much better in skill that it would make, a massive difference, because they're close in power, as you said.
Yeah, I think that's kind of ridiculous, though, to say that Goten and Gohan have the same level of skill.
I don't really think that's ridiculous.
Goten would have only trained with Chi-Chi.
I mean, for instance, right, Super Saiyan Trunks was able to land a hit on Super Saiyan Vegeta, even though they're not close in skill.
Why aren't they close in skill?
So you think Trunks and Kid Trunks and Vegeta are close in skill, but Goten and Gohan aren't?
Well, no. First of all, him being able to land a punch doesn't have to be indicative of what we're talking about. The gap is definitely way different.
I think landing a punch on somebody is definitely indicative of skill.
It doesn't have to be, though. It could be luck.
I don't think it has to be. I just think it's
you're talking about two people that are swapping hands and having an actual fight. Like Vegeta and Trunks is
I
Trunks
think it's
trying
more
to land
probable
one
that
punch on
Vegeta literally states, "Hey, if you land a hit on me, I'll take you to the park." So he's obviously trying to not get hit.
Sure, we don't know to
so
what
I think
degree,
skill
though.
definitely plays a factor.
Okay, we don't know to what degree, and again, I'm suggesting it could be luck. It could be luck in this instance that he was able to hit him, whereas it wouldn't be in the case of Goten and Gohan fighting.
It could be luck. I just don't think it's more probable.
Well, you'd have to establish the probability. Vegeta seems pretty surprised that he got hit. Unless you think that Super Saiyan Trunks is stronger than Vegeta.
Throughout the series, it's kind of established that the more skilled you are, the better you perform in fights. Right?
Okay, so do you think that Kid Trunks is more skilled than Vegeta? How do you think he landed the punch? You tell me. If it's not luck, then what would
you were the I was the one questioning you because you were I brought it up, right? I was like,
now doesn't make sense because if you're trying to say it wasn't luck, then how exactly did he hit him? Now you have to tell me.
I'm saying they're close in power.
You think that Super Saiyan Kid Trunks is close in power to Super Saiyan Vegeta?
Yeah, because he wasn't going all out. Yeah.
Because he wasn't going all out. I mean, okay, I guess that's fine for
Kid
that.
Trunks
but
was going all out, trying to look. Let me explain it from this perspective, right?
Okay, then that's not skill.
Vegeta tells Kid Trunks, right?
Okay.
Yeah. If you land a hit on me, I'll take you to the park. Kid Trunks is like, oh, I really want to go to the park, so I'm gonna go all out and try to land a hit on him. Vegeta's fucking chilling, right? He doesn't think Kid Trunks really has the heat like that.
If he's underestimating him, how would that be skill that he was able to do that?
I'm saying the skill. Hold on. In this instance, right? I'm saying Kid Trunks, right? Vegeta's holding back, right? So they're similar in power, right?
I don't know if they are, but I can steel man it if you'd like.
I mean, there's literally no other way he would land a hit on him.
Luck again. Could have got.
Yeah,
lucky,
I don't.
Right?
I literally don't think that's possible.
You don't think it's possible that he got lucky and landed a hit on Vegeta?
Yeah, I don't think it's possible that Vegeta, while in Super Saiyan, let Trunks get a hit on him.
Well, I said luck. I didn't say let. Luck has nothing to do with letting. Luck is he got lucky enough to do it.
Yeah, I think Vegeta's too skilled of a warrior for him to allow that to happen.
You can't not allow luck though. So what do you mean by that?
I mean,
luck is something just happening on the chance that it does. It doesn't matter how skilled you are. Luck can play a factor in anything. So that doesn't mean that can't happen. Vegeta can't stop.
Well, I mean, if we were talking about the fucking JoJo Bizarre Adventure verse and maybe, but I don't think luck
is just a thing in general. I mean, Trunks is landing.
Yeah, but I don't think luck has an actual tangible effect on the scene.
Luck has tangible effect in everything. There's always a chance for something to be.
Oh my god! Come on, though.
I mean, he has to land one punch, and he's throwing I mean, it does, especially in this, because this is probability. He's like, if you land one
hold
punch,
on.
then you can
Let
go,
me
right?
pull up the actual manga scene because I remember it in the anime.
Sure,
Hold
okay.
on.
Sure.
Because I gotta re-look at this because it's not that he got
he doesn't
lucky.
hit him
It's
immediately.
that
He could have.
no,
is what
yeah,
I'm
he doesn't
saying.
hit him
He could have got
immediately, but that's
lucky.
what I mean.
I'm
Though
not
it's not
saying,
luck.
like,
He earns the punch.
I mean, look, man, if we're like sparring and all you have to do is land one punch on me, there's not that much skill that you need to require to land a single blow, especially if
because Vegeta was literally deflecting all of his punches.
Okay, yeah, but you only need to land one. So how much skill do you need to do that when me and you are relative? Like
a lot. It's Vegeta.
It's Vegeta, but they're both relative, right?
Yeah, but that's so what I mean though. Like I'm not saying it was like entirely skill based. I'm just saying skill played a factor.
It could play 1% of a factor. That wouldn't really help with the argument. It wouldn't help your
1% though. Like, how would you quantify that?
You can't, which is exactly why I'm saying that. Like, your argument is not that strong.
But like, what do you mean though? You're the okay. Hold on.
Because this is your whole thing. You're trying to say this is such a skillful thing that Trunks did, landing a punch on Vegeta, and I'm like, when he's literally rapid firing.
Yeah, I'm saying it
relative,
like
it's
it has to take a degree of skill for him to be able to do that. Like, it's not just luck.
It took a degree of skill to land one punch. Yeah, but the degree of skill doesn't have to be high.
I think there was more skill involved than luck.
You can think that, but you have no way of quantifying it. I mean, he literally throws a million punches at him.
Sure, I do.
And Vegeta has to block every punch but one punch. So, like, I don't know how much skill it takes for you to do that.
He's clearly like trying to evade him, right? Like he's like, damn, you know, I can't believe my son's throwing punches like this.
I mean, yeah, that could just be because of his power. Like, what do you mean? Why does that have to be skill?
I think it's both because of his power and because he didn't expect him to like come at him like that. Like, it's a skill and a strength thing. If he didn't expect it,
then now you could just argue he was caught off guard, and that's why it happened. That's your argument. He was caught off guard. Well, there you go. That's why it happened.
He was on guard. He wasn't.
I mean, you said it though. I mean, he didn't expect it, so he could have been caught off guard, right?
Him not expecting it doesn't necessarily mean he was off guard.
It doesn't mean it, but you've also given me another argument now, because this is all based on a could, right? But once you start having more possibilities of things of like, he could have been caught off guard. It could be because he increased his speed. Maybe Trunks started fighting harder in that instance.
Listen, I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying it's possible. I'm not saying it's the more likely interpretation,
but
right?
You did say that earlier, though. You did say it was
what I think is most likely, right, is that Trunks was able to land a hit on Vegeta through a combination of skill and strength. I genuinely don't think luck played a factor here.
I guess you don't have to think so, but it's the same level of likelihood. So it's like you can't use this to say this is
as it being skill.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that though, because I don't think like would you say that like throwing a combination of punches at somebody, right? You would say that like that involves more skill than luck, right?
Throwing a combination of punches needs more skill than luck? Throwing the punches or throwing them and then one of them hits?
I guess
because it doesn't
both.
really take any skill to throw like a lot of punches at somebody. That doesn't take skill.
Well, like if you're throwing accurate punches, I would assume it does take skill.
What makes them accurate?
That's what I'm in reference to. Yeah, like Trunks was throwing accurate punches at Vegeta.
I'm saying, like, what makes them accurate?
I mean, he threw it right at Vegeta and he had to dodge out of the way. I mean, what else would make it accurate? I mean,
okay, sure. So he's throwing accurate punches, right?
Yeah, I think throwing accurate and deliberate punches takes skill.
Okay, throwing accurate punches takes a certain level of skill, but there's levels even of that. So let's just say that these are accurate punches Trunks are throwing. How many does he throw before he actually only lands one?
Do you want me to quantify that in the manga? Because in the manga, it's kind of hard to
look, but like it's like at least like you would probably say it was
there's more than a dozen. I would say more than a dozen.
So, what do you think? You know, if you throw 12 punches at someone and you only have to land one, luck is playing more of a factor in skill. As a matter of fact, skill, your gap in skill is what's being compensated.
I understand what you mean. You're saying that like out of like the 12 punches you threw, basically, right? You only landed one.
You happen to hit one, like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm saying that he didn't happen to hit it out of luck, though. It was deliberate.
You can say that, but their equal interpretation is my point. And I don't know what you mean by deliberate. I
don't think it is an equal interpretation, though, because you already granted the fact that he's going to be throwing accurate punches.
That doesn't mean that it's not luck that you hit, though.
If he's throwing accurate punches, why would it be luck?
It's okay. It still could be luck. It still could be, because I mean, look, Vegeta's dodging every single one.
Yeah, but why would it be an equal interpretation, right? Like, if you already agreed, right, that throwing a combination of accurate punches, right, is more skill based than luck based. So if he's able to land one of these combination of punches, why would that be equally luck based? When you already agreed that it takes more skill.
Throwing them and landing 1 out of 12 is 2 different things. You can throw accurate punches and never hit somebody.
Vegeta's dodging him. If Vegeta wasn't dodging, he would have hit all 12, obviously.
Sure, but that's why luck plays into it, because Vegeta is the one on the defensive, and he has a massive skill gap over him, and he's just simply throwing punches. So yeah, I mean.
But you already agreed he's throwing accurate punches.
That's not relevant, though, to what I'm saying. Him throwing accurate punches doesn't mean he can't get lucky.
That it's luck that he connected the punch, basically.
It is luck,
right?
Because it hit Vegeta and it didn't hit him prior with all the other punches he threw that were so accurate. Only one got through. That's a luck.
That's because of skill and strength.
But skill and strength played no factor. Like, what do you mean?
You already agreed they play a factor.
No. I think you're like mistaking him actually hitting it with him trying. Like, there's a difference between trying to hit him and then actually being lucky enough to hit him.
Yeah, him being able to hit him wasn't based on luck.
Being able to land one punch on him, whereas he's a seasoned fighter blocking attacks, and he blocks all of the rest of them. So him being able to actually get one through Vegeta's defense would be luck, because he's not doing anything different than he did for the ones that he blocked. You'd have to argue somehow the one that he threw, that he punched him with, like, was so much different than the other ones, which you can't. It's just one that Vegeta simply wasn't able to guard for whatever reason. I definitely think
you can argue the punch that he threw was different from the combination that he threw.
I mean, he threw more than a combination. It would have to be than every punch, is what I'm trying to say. And if we agree they're all accurate, then there shouldn't be any difference.
I'll go through it panel by panel, right? So he throws one jab, basically.
That's also we're just gonna extend the time longer, but
yeah, I was just saying I don't think it's equally possible that it's luck based.
I hear you, but I don't know if we're gonna agree on this, or if I can get through to you the explanation I'm trying to say. I think we would just have to both.
I get what you're trying to say, that like out of the punches that he threw, only one was able to connect. But I think the reason that one punch was able to connect was through the skillful effort and like the level of power that he had, basically.
Okay, his level of power and skill are 2 different things.
I think it was both.
Well, it would be both, but like I said before, I mean, even with luck, bro, skill can be involved. Like, luck would just be the main factor, because he's obviously only able to land 1 out of the barrage he threw. Why would that be skill? I think it's kind of
oxymoronic to say that luck and skill can be like.
I mean, you can be skillful and still get lucky. I'm not saying they're the exact same type of concept.
No, yeah, you can be skillful and get lucky, but I don't think you being lucky would be because of your skill.
No, not at all. I'm suggesting here that he was lucky in getting this. I'm not saying he isn't skilled, though, outside of the lucky hit he got. He's just not a skilled fighter.
Yeah, but I'm saying him being able to get that hit was only possible due to the skill and strength he had.
Yeah, but you can't prove that. That makes no sense.
Yes, I can.
He got the punch because he was skillful.
I can definitely prove that he was only. I can definitely prove. Hold on. I can definitely prove he was only able to get that punch due to the skill and strength he had.
Skill and strength?
Yeah, both.
I mean, he's gonna get it because he's fast enough to touch Vegeta.
If he was just flatly powerful with like no skill involved, right? He wouldn't have been able to land the punch.
I didn't say there was no skill involved at all. I mean, he's throwing good punches. I'm just saying the reason he was able to connect one of them out of the many he threw that were still skillful and couldn't connect is because luck. He got lucky with that punch that he threw. That one was able to get through Vegeta's defenses. That one isn't like so much better than the rest of them. He's literally just spamming them. And then if one of them actually hits him, that's the whole point. Because he knows he's not at the level. He wasn't even able to punch Vegeta before he made this deal with him. Now he makes the deal and he's throwing punches rapidly in a way he wasn't even doing before, spamming them seemingly, connects one luckily, and is able to secure the deal. Like, it even makes sense.
Well,
when you're looking at the story, but I mean, we can agree to disagree, I guess, bro. I don't think I could have explained it any different. So we'll agree to disagree on that. But regardless of that, going back to the whole Gohan and Goten thing, I think saying that Goten and Gohan have similar levels of skill is kind of crazy, a bit disingenuous too, since Gohan trained and fought all his life, whereas Goten would only have Chi-Chi as a reference. he didn't even know that Gohan was able to fight in that way. So I think that's a little disingenuous.
Well, it's stated that Gohan's rusty.
Yeah, but being rusty and being on the level of like a 7-year-old with Chi level training is not the same thing.
It's never quantified how rusty he was.
I mean, just the concept of rust. Rust isn't the same thing as like forgetting, right?
I wouldn't necessarily say that.
I mean, if you're okay, what you're trying to say is you're basically saying it's possible for a unexperienced fighter to have the same level of skill as a very experienced fighter who's rusty. I just think that's a bad take.
I mean, we see Goku like get damaged by a bullet in Super, whereas Kid Goku wasn't able to get damaged by a bullet. I think that's an example of like somebody being rusty and performing worse than like they would
by the bullet because he obviously wasn't outputting enough ki to resist the bullet.
And that was because he was rusty.
And that doesn't have to be because he's rusty though. He could just be not outputting ki that would
literally why he stated he got hit by the bullet.
I mean, I don't know if that's why, but again, that doesn't like you're gonna get hurt by stuff if you're not putting out enough ki to withstand an attack. So that doesn't like that's not really relevant to this. So we could just conclude, I guess, and then we'll we'll do what we do. We got off into a tangent on that right there specifically, but I believe the last point we were talking about was Gohan being stated to be equal that he was before. He didn't lose anything. He didn't lose any, or his strength didn't change, which would mean it can't go down or up. Neither can make sense for it to not change. You obviously feel a different way about that, despite the statement, but I'll let you conclude on your points, and then I'll go after you.
Basically, right, I believe that the statement that you brought up where Gohan says that like his strength hasn't changed since he was a boy, I think that when it says his strength hasn't changed, I don't think it means it literally. I think it means that his strength simply hasn't increased since he was young, which means that it would be possible that he could be weaker and still his strength could have quote unquote not changed because he hasn't gotten more powerful. That's basically it.
Excuse me. Okay, but again, that wouldn't make sense because that would be change. So again, can't be possible. But I meant concluding the entire argument.
Yeah, but that's in your interpretation of it having.
That's not in
changed.
My interpretation. That's just in using the word. You can't say something didn't change and then you're clearly telling me it changed.
Yeah, but I think the word change can be used non-literally.
You think it could be used non-literally? How about like the way it's defined as a word? Like change obviously means something changing. I don't think you can say change doesn't mean that. Like that's what it means. So if there's anything that changes, you can't say.
Well, what do you define change as?
Change, bro. Like something changing.
So that's not the definition of change.
Something becoming different than what it was prior. Right?
It's a cause to be different, right?
Yeah, so if something didn't change, that means it's not different. So if you say something is different, you're saying that it changed. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I'm saying that like when it says his strength hasn't changed, it just means he hasn't gotten more powerful.
I understand that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But he can't get weaker then. Do you get how that doesn't make sense?
I wouldn't necessarily
him getting weaker would be
a
change. You don't get how him getting weaker would be a change? You don't get that?
Like I understand what you're trying to say, but I don't think that it's possible that like he could be stated to have his strength not changed and then also be stated to like his strength he's like way weaker than he was when he fought Cell, right?
I mean,
like,
both could be the case, and I've already explained why that would be, but I think we'd probably be circling at this point. So we could just conclude, like, the entire debate. You could give your conclusion. I won't interrupt you or anything like that. I'll give mine. Or if you care about who goes first, we could flip a coin or something. But if not, then
you can go first, so I can do mine.
Okay, yeah, so then we probably got to flip a coin. Let's
I was saying you can go first.
No, but I don't want to go first, actually, to be honest. I'd rather go after.
All right.
So if you're cool with going first, then we could just do that. But if you want to go second, then we
I'll go first. I don't mind.
Okay, bet. Go for it.
So basically, right, my entire debate and like argument was that there's more evidence, in my opinion, to suggest that Gohan only went Super Saiyan 2, visually and narratively, like speaking, in the fight versus Kibito. In my opinion, that's the only time he went Super Saiyan 2. My reason for this is, not only is he not visually drawn with the Super Saiyan 2 aura and lightning that like is typically characteristic of Super Saiyan 2, he's just not really like narratively, like it's implied that like he isn't able to like draw from his anger in the way that he would need to draw out his full strength as stated by Goku, and the interpretation for that could either be that he can go Super Saiyan 2 and doesn't have the strength that he needs, or he can go Super Saiyan 2 like he just can't go Super Saiyan 2 at will. Basically, he needs a motivator big enough to go Super Saiyan 2, right? Both of those are like, in my opinion, equally possible interpretations. We've gone over like the different instances of like, some like there's been some examples where like Super Saiyan 2 or 3 were drawn without the aura and lightning. I believe I addressed all of those. We also went over the like statements of like Gohan having not gotten weaker or his power being different, and talking about like his rage boosts and how they work in the series. So at the end of the day, I think it just mainly comes down to like our interpretations of how Gohan's anger works and how it's portrayed in the Buu Saga, and like what specifically motivates him to be able to turn Super Saiyan 2, if he needs a motivator at all, or if he can just do it at will, which I'm pretty sure you are in the position that like even if he does need a motivator, that like he would be able to motivate himself at like any point in the Buu Saga, which I am not. And that's basically like the main difference between our interpretations, is like what Gohan needs as a motivator to turn Super Saiyan 2. And that's it, basically.
Okay. So for my conclusion, I'm going to say that I feel that I established a precedence for every argument given. One of them was the fact that, there's a visual indicator of Super Saiyan 2, or just forms in general in the Buu Saga. When people are in certain forms, they are visually represented as X or Y, whatever the case may be. I feel like I've proven that there's multiple instances of... You say something?
No, I said
Okay. I felt like I proved that there were multiple instances of this being an inconsistent thing. So using the visual scaling of what something's drawn or depicted to look like isn't the best way to establish what makes the most sense for someone to be in a transformation, or what transformation they're actually in, considering there are inconsistencies with this. I show that it's stated by authoritative material that Gohan actually can turn Super Saiyan 2 at his own volition. I didn't provide like all of the versions of it, and I don't want to do it now because I feel like that would be disingenuous to the whole argument thing. But I mean, there is multiple of them. I did provide one, which is the Daizenshu. Now I'm just giving my conclusion, bro. This is not even like I'm just saying it like generally speaking. I'm not even necessarily talking to you. I'm just like concluding you feel me? Like it's cool.
All right.
So I'm not, because I'm also live and everything. I'm speaking to the people who would watch the debate, stuff like that. So yeah, it's not. I didn't provide all of them. I gave one though, which is from the Daizenshu, which is authoritative material, things of that nature, signed off by Akira Toriyama. Aside from that, there was an argument that was brought up that if Gohan can turn to a Super Saiyan 2 if there is a certain amount of anger that he's able to establish to do so. I provided multiple instances of Gohan being able to have that level of anger so that he could turn into it. I made the point, which I'm not going to go too crazy in about, we'd be here for a long time explaining it, but about what Goku mentions to him later about being as strong as he was against Cell, which refers to the power of his rage boost rather than it being Super Saiyan 2 in general. Gohan himself says he was mad, and the reference point is not when he got mad in the tournament against Videl or anything like that. It's against Cell, and obviously he was stronger against Cell, so it's indicative there of the rage boost being what Goku's referring to, not Super Saiyan 2. And Gohan still is mad, so he should have the quote unquote specifications needed to turn Super Saiyan to a certain amount of anger, even though that's not stated, and things of that nature. I feel like I provided that. I enjoyed this debate. I thought it was actually pretty. It was cool, like it was a nice breath of fresh air, if you want to say, different from topics I usually debate about and everything like that. I appreciate you deciding to come up here and do it. I understand it was a little bit of short notice for you. So I do want to mention that.
Yes.
But you did put on for the audience and everything like that. And I'm sure, they're in there talking about it in the Discord. But
yeah, they can have their own opinions. I would say that, like, there's nothing wrong with your interpretation. Like, I don't think your interpretation is incorrect, right? Like, I don't think it's wrong. I more so argue on, like, the probability aspect. Like, I think mine is more likely. But, like, your interpretation, I think, is equally, like, possible, per se. Like, I think it's likely that, like, your interpretation could also be the case,
Gotcha. Yeah, appreciate that. All right, stream. I'm gonna end the live here. But if you were interested in these kind of debates, and this is what you enjoy entertainment wise, I recommend joining the Discord. We try to have it more civil like this most of the time. So, you know, Karenmo will also be in there if you guys want to talk to him about whatever, you can do so.
Yep.
And that's that for that.
All right, bye.